What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the best part of your Tuesday. It is the Hard Count host, and as always, and I got my guy to the right of me. Yeah, look at that. That's 2 weeks in a row. I got the direction right, CJ. I'm on to something now. Uh, I got CJ to my right, co-host, and as always, CJ, how we doing?
All is well, brother. All is well. Doing great, man. Good Tuesday.
Yes, sir. And of course, as you guys can tell, we have a nice little guest on the show. Always in our comments, Mr. Wise Cheese Matt Scura, part of the USN fam. So what's going on there, Matt?
Nothing much. Been a good Tuesday. It's been a while since I've been on here as a guest, and as always, it's always a pleasure to talk football. And hey, the Packers got a great win on Thursday. I'm definitely gonna be looking forward to talking about it.
Well, you know what, Matt? Well, we've been starting recently from the Monday night games and counting down. So you're actually lucky. We'll save your game best for last.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Exactly. So with that being said, let's just hop right into it, people. And we're going to start it off with that Monday night game all the way at the bottom of your screen right there, as you can tell. Chiefs get the 20-17 victory over the lonely New York Giants. You know, people, they have the worst record in the NFL since that boat picture. You know what their record is? Believe they're 20-52. I mean,
It's
that's
rough.
That's worse than the Jets, the Jags. I mean,
The Browns.
all those teams that you think are terrible. No, I got it. Listen, it's the Giants. It is actually the Giants. And, I was also CJ. You know the people since us New Yorkers. I was listening to the Michael Kay show. The great Yankee announcer has his little sports show over here in New York, and they were on to something. The Giants have some Super Bowl wins, but in between there is absolutely nothing to be a fan of. Like
Been saying that forever.
2007 and 11, unbelievable. Everything in between that and up until now, terrible. Those Super Bowls, in the 90s? And I think there was one before that as well.
Yeah, 80s. Yeah, 80s, 86. And then the 90, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic time to be a Giants fan. In between and before that, terrible. So I don't know. But we'll stick to this game. I won't trash the Giants too much more, although it is fantastic seeing them be bad. Especially because, obviously, I know so many Giants fans. It makes me smile. Look at this. We already got some comments rolling in. And as you can tell, people, pull up to the YouTube because we can't see your comments over there on the Twitter side anymore. So we need you to pull up to the YouTube, pull up to the Twitch, pull up to the Facebook, and leave your comments. We love chatting to the people. Crazy week. Henry Winston injured. Ridley taking time off. Ruggs, we're going to get into that situation. Von Miller to LA. It is, listen, the NFL, as CJ says, is the best reality TV show in history. It really is. But like I said, let's get into this game, Matt. We'll start it off with you. Our typical breakdown of the game, just your thoughts on it and everything that went into it.
Well, my overall thoughts on the game was just simply one team was the better team, simply won the game. I mean, you look at, the Chiefs have been playing, as CJ likes to say, dirt as of late. You look at it's bad. It's bad in Kansas City. And, you look at it, if you're the Giants, this is the third game this season the Giants had an opportunity to win, and they let their own blunders get in their own way. You look at week 2 against the Falcons. They had a chance to win. They allow a game-winning field goal. Week 3, they were against Washington. They had a chance to win the game. The kicker missed the kick. But Dexter Lawrence was offside. And now you have this game against the Chiefs. They had a great first down run of 20-plus yards. I believe the game at the time was tied at 17 in the fourth quarter. And what happens? The so-called BS taunting rule that your own owner said there should be a taunting rule in place. Well, what happened, Mr. Mora? Your bum ass who should sell the team. You just blew it right there because the BS taunting call. Oh, yeah, by the way, got rid of that 20-yard play because you got a 15-yard penalty. What happens on the Giants? They have to punt the ball away. And what happens when they punt the ball away? Oh, yeah, Joe Judge, the so-called savior of the Giants, straight dog water. Defense is terrible. They let the Chiefs get the field goal. And, if you're the Chiefs, man, you got to count your blessings because you got lucky you were playing the Giants. If you were playing any other team, if you were playing Green Bay like you're playing next week, I wish you all the best of luck on that one. You got, if you were to play another team like the Bucks or the Rams or any other team that's in a playoff contender, you're not going to win that game. So for the Chiefs, they got lucky. They won that game. And for the Giants, man, it's just like they say, the same old Giants. They find a way to lose. And, just everything the Giants have done has just gone awful. Their free agent signings have gone awful. Daniel Jones has his moments of greatness and then his moments of putrid dog water. And then the defense, don't even get me started on the defense. The defense is just awful. No, they signed Bradbury. He's burnt like toast. It's nothing good is happening with the Giants. I stated before the season even started, the Giants will finish in last. The Eagles won't. And what has happened? The New York Giants are in last in the NFC East, and the Eagles are 3-5.
CJ, that's all you.
Yeah, it was an ugly win by the Chiefs, but you got it. That's how at least you got to get one. They were definitely going through a skid. I really want to see how they play against some of these top level teams. The Giants aren't a great team. I think the Giants had a great game plan. I felt like many people thought prior to the game, even though the Chiefs haven't been playing great, it's the Giants, they're Arrowhead. They're gonna, blow the Giants out, easy money, get back on track. And it didn't work that way. Got to give credit to the Giants. They in the beginning of the game, they did make it tough. Got that interception in the red zone in the red area. You thought, okay, here we go again, man. They might fold, and all this, all the speculation on Twitter was going crazy after that. But they weathered the storm. I agree with what you said, Elijah Penny, that taunting call. I understand, we may not agree with it, but we're in week 8 now, week 9 now. You gotta be more aware. You have to be more aware of what's going on, especially that magnitude of the game. You're on the road. The first down celebration is cool, but then you want to flinch at him in his face. Of course, they're gonna throw that flag, man. So you just got to be more aware. You got to understand situational football. A lot of players don't understand situational football, and I think he messed up right there. He messed up a key drive, and then the offsides when they were on defense, which led to the interception. But they got taken away because of the offsides call. So, but that's the Giants. They're not a great team, so they're gonna make those type of plays. Those type of things are gonna happen, unfortunately. But for the Chiefs, it was an important win. Just to get a win, just get back on the win column. 4-4. Chargers lost, Broncos lost, the Raiders, had a bye. So, if they want to continue to, maybe win the division or probably sneak into one of these wild card spots, it was definitely important for them to get the dub.
And one thing I will mention before you guys say anything, the Chiefs' next 3 games are home against the Packers, at the Las Vegas Raiders, and then home against the Cowboys before their bye week, and they're 4-4.
Yeah, I heard they have the toughest schedule going forward.
The toughest schedule remaining in the NFL.
Yeah, so like I said, the Giants
again, Raiders twice, Packers, Cowboys, Broncos twice, which is easy, but the
Chargers one more time.
Yeah, the Chargers got one. The Giants. We just know the formula now for the Chiefs. They're not really built to run the football. They don't have a run blocking O-line. They have a pass protection O-line.
Man, the GOAT really broke the Chiefs.
Well, you can say Todd Bowles. You can say Todd Bowles. You got to give credit to that defense. Obviously, Brady's on the other side, but that defense they play cover 2 man, cover 2 zone, and you're not gonna let Tyreek beat you over the top. So they're gonna have to find ways throughout the season to scheme things up, get some of these guys open. And honestly, outside of those 2 guys, they don't really have anybody else. McColl's been inconsistent, Pringle's inconsistent, Josh Gordon's non-existent. So it's like teams are really just focusing on both of those guys. You put 2 safeties over the top to take away the Debo for Tyreek, and then you just make sure you wrap up Kelsey and to avoid yards after catch, and you can have an ugly game, and that's what teams probably want against the Chiefs. So we'll see how they're able to counter that against some of these good teams going forward.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like I've focused on it a lot. Obviously, if you've listened to this show, that the Chiefs' defense is bad and everything like that, blah blah. But the thing that's kind of flying underneath the radar along, with that, is that the offense is not the same. Like, we expect the Chiefs to put up, 30 points with ease every week, and, they're blowing teams out. They put up 33 against the Browns and then 35 against the Ravens first 2 weeks of the season. Then after that, it was 24. They put up 42 against the Eagles. Doesn't count. But they put up 24 against the Chiefs. They put up 20 against the Bills. Against the Bills. 31 against Washington, whose defense has been awful this year. 3 against the Titans, and then 20 against the Giants this week. Like, this is not the same explosive Chiefs offense that everybody has come to know and love. And it has a lot to do with teams just know how to play them now. They're playing that shell coverage that everybody talks about now, just leaving the safeties deep and making them throw the ball intermediate, and they don't want to do that. Mahomes was 3 of 10, I believe, on passes of 10 plus yards last night. They don't really like to run the ball. Even if they can, that at some point they're going to go back to passing the ball. And Mahomes is leading the league in interceptions. Obviously, there's been a few that haven't been his fault, but an interception is an interception. I mean, you can't really change that now. And I believe he is the last he's the first person who's won an MVP to lead the league outright in interceptions this late in the season since Brett Favre. So, I mean, there is definitely a turnover issue there. Threw one last night, obviously went through the hands, and then I think he got lucky. I know it was a free play. We probably knew. We knew on TV because, the little flag thing comes up. I don't think Mahomes knew that was a free play. I really don't think Mahomes knew that was a free play on that offsides. That would have been another interception, obviously. But I don't know. There's no way you can be concerned. You're putting up 20 points against the Giants. And, I mean, Matt just said how bad, their defense played, but they gave up 20 points. Like, that is a very doable amount if you're the Giants offense. Like, you should be able to put up more than 17 against the Chiefs defense, first of all. So you can look at it in many ways, but there is something mightily wrong with the Chiefs. And I saw Dan Orlovsky say that, the Browns are the most disappointing team in the NFL this year or whatever. I have no idea how you can come on TV and say that any team other than the Chiefs is the most disappointing team in football. There were people who literally thought they were going 17-0 this year. I mean, we thought the Browns were going to be pretty good, especially coming off last year. And, so a lot of people had them winning the division. I know I did. It doesn't look good anymore, but people really thought the Chiefs were going 17-0. And I think I had them at like 15-2. And they're 4-4 at the midpoint of the season. And like Matt said, they have some tough games coming up. They have the hardest schedule in the league. I sit here right now and still think that they're not making the playoffs. I really do. Like, I think the Packers game is a loss. I think the Cowboys game is a loss. I think they're going to lose at least one to the Raiders, if not, both of them. But I think that that's a divisional thing. You usually end up taking one of them. I think they'll take both against the Broncos. But I mean, do you have full confidence that they beat the Bengals? I know we're going to get into that game later, but still, you have full confidence in that. Do you have full confidence in them, beating the Raiders twice or beating the Chargers again? So there's something definitely wrong in Kansas City, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. I know that they traded for Melvin Ingram today. I don't think that really does too much. This isn't the Melvin Ingram of a few years ago when he was paired up with Joey Bosa and they were causing, havoc for all NFL quarterbacks. This is definitely an older, worn down Melvin Ingram. So I don't think it does too much. Will it help for sure, but that still doesn't really change the secondary. And that doesn't change the inability for them to run the ball. So every team knows how to, cover them. It's definitely a problem. And Mahomes escapes a lot of it because he's been so good recently. Like, obviously, these past few years, he's been the best quarterback in the NFL by far, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, a lot of this has to go on him, too. You're outright leading the league in interceptions, and that doesn't include your fumbles, which he had one last night, I believe. So it's tough out there. It is definitely tough. But with that being said, we'll go on to the Sunday night game. And CJ so beautifully titled this episode with the CJ. I know I just said that. Now I forgot it, but I know it's second coming?
Second string. Yeah.
Second string. See?
That's
second
some fine
string.
creativity.
Beautiful, beautiful title to this episode. because this was one of the games that leads right into it. The Cowboys and the Vikings. Cowboys take down the Vikings in prime time. Now, listen, Kirk Cousins was the quarterback on the other side, so should we really be surprised? I don't think so. I think he's like 7-20 or something like that in primetime games. Not very good. But listen, Cooper Rush out here making plays. We got a quarterback controversy now. No, I'm just kidding. Calm down. Calm down, Cowboys. Listen, just breathe. Exhale. I know you're good for the first time in 45 years, but calm down. Yeah, he played well. And, a lot of people want to say things about Colin Cowherd. He made one hell of a point on the show that I was watching. He said, if you didn't know which quarterback was making money, you would have thought it was Cooper Rush in that game. If you didn't know that Kirk Cousins was the one who had the big contract, you would have had no idea. The best throws in the game were made by Rush. The one down the sideline, it was good. Cooper Rush played very well. The Vikings, man, there's no way. I said this in the group chat. I know we have some Kirk Cousins defenders out there, but there's no way in my head that they give Kirk Cousins that contract if they could do it all over again.
It's Kirk Cousins. There's Kirk Cousins defenders on there? Sheesh.
Yeah, go ask Corey about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, man.
By the way, thinks he's top 10 quarterback.
There has to be some sarcasm in that. There's no way you can actually believe that he's top 10. I do want to show this up. I think he's correct on this one.
No, it was actually Mike White.
Well, then who had the most in the debut then? Because Mike White had like 405.
It was Cam, man.
For like 36.
Yeah.
Something like that. Don't worry, Josh made sure to remind me yesterday. But yeah, this was a great game out of Cooper Rush. Zeke with that huge play on down. It was, I believe. I don't know how they ended up not making that tackle, but listen, the Cowboys are playing well, and I think the thing that leads into it a lot is obviously having Dak back, and he has gotten better. When he first came into the league, he struggled with accuracy a little bit. He's fixed that up. But Zeke is having his resurgence year. Like, it really is happening. We kind of counted him out, or at least I did. Let me not speak for everybody. The last 2 years, it just didn't look very well. And this year, he's eating again. He is playing very well. And obviously, we know the Cowboys are better statistically when they run the ball more than pass. So, good for the Cowboys. But, CJ, what do you think of this game?
Man, the Vikings just folded, bro. They just keep folding. These primetime games. The thing about them is, like, they're good enough to make the playoffs, but they're not bad enough to, have a lottery pick and get one of these top quarterbacks that come up, in the draft. So they're always going to be in the middle. And that's, in some cases, a couple years, certain years, you ask for that, but this Kirk Cousins is not that guy. I don't think he's that guy that can lead you to a Super Bowl. Only had other than that first drive that they had from the touchdown to Thielen, the offense was pretty much non-existent after that. And this is a clear opportunity for him to come out, play well. Doesn't matter who's the other quarterback on the other side. You're at home, primetime game, Sunday Night Football. Everybody's watching. A lot of people were saying some positive things about the Vikings heading into the game. How they had a couple close losses here and there where that could have went their way, missed field goal against Arizona, things like that. And, Kirk just didn't answer the call. And, this is becoming a trend for Kirk, his whole entire career. And if your franchise quarterback can't be a guy in primetime regular season games, just imagine primetime postseason is the definition of primetime. So it's just a tough situation for the Vikings. I was on YouTube. I saw like a Viking stream like after the game. They were going crazy. They were bringing fans into the stream, and they were just saying fire Zimmer, fire Cousins. Cut Cousins. It was wild. It was wild. Zimmer definitely has to go. Definitely.
You think?
It's time. It's time, man. It's time. Outside of that one NFC Conference Championship appearance that they had with Case Keenum, it hasn't been that great. You would think defensively they'd be better. because he's a defensive-minded head coach and just hasn't been that way. Yeah, they've given the Packers a little bit of competition throughout his time there, a couple wins here and there in a few seasons, but nothing to the credit of like, sweeping the Packers one year or something like that. It's never been like that. So if you want to win that division and make your case and be one of those great coaches, you got to go through Green Bay, and they just haven't been able to do that consistently. A part of that has to do with their quarterback. And then just going back to the game, 3rd and 11. First off, he didn't know he had 2 timeouts. Well, he didn't know he was going to call 2 timeouts in a row, so he got to delay a game. That's
that just reminded me something about the Giant game, CJ. I'll go back to it after your point, but you just recycled the memory there, guy.
Facts. And 3rd and 11, just a check down to Zeke, and you got 2 guys right there. You don't make that tackle. You got to wrap up. Force a field goal. They don't get the field goal, and then Cooper Rush just throws a dime to Amari Cooper on one leg. Pretty much, we saw him on the sideline with the Theragun and the tennis ball trying to get his hamstring loose, and then he just goes out there, does a fade route on their like 5th string DB, and just mosses him in the back of the end zone to win the game. That's if you're a Viking fan, that's demoralizing. And
that's tough.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to use other adjectives now, bro. I'm trying to use other adjectives. But
there you go.
It's definitely difficult. Definitely difficult for that franchise, man. For that team, they're gonna have to change a new leaf for sure over there in Minnesota. And then for Dallas, it's an important win. It's just a talented team. They have talent all across the board. I mean, Randy Gregory almost sold, but he made some key plays. He made some key plays as well, blowing up the offensive line, making stops, forcing that field goal from Minnesota, so they could go. So Dallas could get the ball back and then ultimately have that game-winning touchdown drive. Trevon Diggs, he didn't have an interception, but he definitely held outside of that first drive. Thielen and Jefferson really didn't do much throughout the game. Dalvin Cook was held under check. He didn't really do too much as well. So you also got to give blame to Clint Kubiak as well, the offensive coordinator. The first 15 players were solid. After that, I was dirt. Got to go back to the roots, man. It was dirt, man. And
I like that, CJ. Dirt and roots. Look at you. You sounded like the Eagles head coach right now.
Gotta switch it up. Gotta switch it up, man. And they're a great team. I think they're one of the most complete teams in football. Their defense definitely stepped up. They're one of the most complete offenses in football too. Yes, Dak has gotten better, and that's a great thing for them. That's what you want. As your quarterback matures and gets older, he should be the better player than the running back. If you're a franchise guy, and that's what we're seeing right now. Dak's 27. He's the same age as me, so he has a lot of time left in the NFL to be a great quarterback. Young in his prime, and
just like CJ.
Yeah, I'm trying, bro. And he's looked good. He's looked good so far. Hopefully he could come back. That calf injury, that calf strain, that's tough. We saw the thing with KD and basketball. He's a quarterback. You're dropping back. You're moving your feet constantly. So, we'll see what happens with that injury going forward. But again, push come to shove, they do have the identity to run the football, slow the game down, make it ugly, and still come out with the dub. And that's what you want if you're a Cowboys fan, and they answered the call on the road. I think that was a big time win for them, and it definitely showed that. Right now, you probably got to put them as the best team in football. Probably them, Green Bay, Tampa Bay took a step back 100%. But just across the board, they definitely look like one of the best teams in the league.
Now, Matt, before you go, like I said, see what CJ said reminded me of the Giant game. I don't know if you guys heard. About 40 seconds went off the clock, and Joe Judge was asked about it, and he was like, "Listen, our headsets weren't working. Like we couldn't get communication, call timeouts." NFL immediately came out and said, "Yeah, we haven't. There's been no problems with the headsets. None have been reported. None, zero." And Joe Judge was like, "We had problems every single week. We talked to the NFL, nothing happened." So nice little back and forth there. So we're gonna see who comes out on top on that one. By the way, hint. I'll give you guys a hint. I think it's gonna be the NFL. But Matt, you go on.
Yeah, and I just want to. Yeah, I want to say honestly, like with CJ sirens in the background, it was BS. With the Joe Judge, you had to call the cops on that one. It was ridiculous. You can't be making that bad of excuses. Oh, my headset doesn't work because my team sucks. My coaching sucks. Yeah, you just suck. Just be quiet, Joe Judge. You're 2-6. Stop talking. Now, with this game. I feel like Thanos because it brings a smile to my face seeing how dirt and how miserable the Minnesota Vikings are. This was the most classic Vikings game I have ever seen. It was primetime Kirk Cousins. You know he's going to falter unless if it's against the New Orleans Saints. And you just simply knew something was going to happen. And granted, like CJ mentioned, the first drive, the Vikings looked good. They gave a nice 20-yard pass to Thielen, but I mean, man, Cooper Rush, man, he was phenomenal. Looking like the plan B of Andy Dalton. I mean, he played better than Andy Dalton. Look at it.
B of Andy Dalton.
Look at the pictures. There's memes on it where it's like a recreation of Red Rifle. He's got the red hair, red beard. It's almost there. And
yeah, I can't argue against it.
I mean, you look at his stat line, 24 of 40, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. Cooper Rush did everything you can. And like CJ mentioned, that game-winning touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, phenomenal. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, this was a win that you had to make, and you got it done. Congratulations. You're 6-1. You're a clear runaway in the NFC least. And I'm not looking at the Cowboys, what you're going to do in November, because it's November 2nd, is what the hell are you going to do in January? What are you going to do when it's wild card weekend and you play host to a team like the Rams, the Cardinals, or aforementioned other team, maybe the New Orleans Saints? What are you going to do in January? Because that's all that matters for Cowboys fans. They could talk all that talk they want. And that's right. I'm talking about you, Perry. You could talk all you want in the regular season. What are you going to do in the playoffs? That's all that matters. And that's the same thing with all these other teams. It's the same thing with my Green Bay Packers, who are 7-1. It's the same thing with the Los Angeles Rams. We could talk all that you want in the regular season, but it's all about what are you going to do in January and February when you got to play some 44-year-old quarterback who does not know father time. What are you going to do against that? That's going to be the thing for the Cowboys. So you look at it, yeah.
Brady Mania runs all over you, brother.
Gotta get turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at it from the Cowboys, it's a great win. You're 6-1, but I'm more looking at it of, okay, yeah, you beat the Vikings. Congratulations. Almost anybody could beat the Vikings. Congratulations. What are you going to do? What are you going to do in playoff time in January? Because there's everybody says, oh, this is the year for the Cowboys. We them boys. 6-3 coming soon. And then lo and behold, they shit the bed in the playoffs. So
that was
what are you gonna do that's different? For the Cowboys, what are you gonna do? Just get it done. You're 6-1. Congratulations. Now let's see what you have to do against a real competitive team, unlike the sorry ass Vikings.
That's fair, man.
I can't wait for the Cowboys to lose in the first round.
Connie, all I know, if the Cowboys lose in the first round, I'm going to see Anthony in the chat smoking on that Cowboys pack, baby.
No, listen. People think I'm bad now in the chat. I got a warning for you. I'm just saying, I got a warning for you.
Crazy.
You better get that remove button up and ready. But with that being said, we move on, unless anybody else has anything on these games. To the Bucs and the Saints. Now, obviously, the big story coming out of here is that Jameis Winston is done for the year, tore his ACL, and he has damage to his MCL. I don't believe it is torn or anything like that. Trevor Siemian, another reason why this episode is named Second String, even though technically, I believe on the depth chart, he's probably third, TJ.
Technically,
I believe he's probably third.
Taysom Hill's out with the concussion, right?
Say, what is wrong with Taysom Hill? I wasn't sure.
He had a concussion.
Yeah, concussed, yeah.
Okay. Now, this is And I'm glad that I got, some people to discuss it with, because me and Josh really didn't know what the answer would be on the show yesterday either. Jameis comes in, gets hurt. Trevor Siemian comes in. They obviously win this game 36-27. Brady throws a pick six late, which is something you just feel like you never see when it comes to a late game situation. But he played pretty well. Trevor Siemian played pretty well. He made some pretty nice throws. That pass down the sideline to Kevin White was nice. I mean, who would have thought that in
Kevin White.
Yeah. Kevin White and Trevor Siemian in 2021, we're going to be doing things. Listen, if you got that one on your bingo card, go play the lottery too. But he comes in. They win the game. At one point, I believe that they were up 16. And then, I think the Bucs took the lead late. Trevor Siemian leads them down, takes the lead back. Some questionable coaching, by the way, from Sean Payton. And that's another thing I kind of want to get into. We give a lot of credit to Sean Payton for this. First of all, the defense needs a lot of credit. And second of all, that was terrible, like Joe Judge level coaching at the end, where you're in field goal range at like the 15 and they're throwing the ball.
They ran 3 straight pass plays.
Yeah. You gave Brady a minute 46 and 2 timeouts, I believe. And like I said, at the end of the day, it all worked out because he threw the pick six. The game was over. But there is no way that was a good idea. In what world was that ever a good idea to throw the ball 3 straight times? But I digress. So, like I said, the big story here, Jameis is out for the year, obviously, with that ACL. I don't think it's anything to panic for the Bucs. Brady just isn't very good against the Saints, apparently. Gronk went out in this game. He started it, couldn't finish it. Chris Godwin had a huge game. Mike Evans got locked down by Lattimore, as he usually does. Good news on the Bucs side of things, though. They just activated Sean Murphy-Bunting and Scotty Miller off IR. So, they're starting to get a little bit healthier. Obviously, Gronk will eventually come back, AB, everybody like that. But my main question, and obviously break down the game as well, but my main question, who's the quarterback? Do you go with Trevor Siemian because he just won you this game? Do you go with Taysom Hill? Because remember, people, last year, Drew Brees gets hurt. They didn't go to Jameis. No. They went to Taysom Hill. So what do? Do you leave Taysom Hill in his utility role? Do you start him as the quarterback and then, occasionally have Trevor Siemian come in for a drive and then put Taysom Hill back at that weird role that he plays? I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do, and I'm very, very excited to see what goes on from here. So, Matt, we'll start with you on this one. Just your thoughts on the game, the quarterback situation, anything. Go on.
I mean, one thing I will say, if you don't mind me sharing a screen for a hot second, I gotta show something. You said Jameis Winston had an ACL problem. I just want to share this clip. What ACL problem?
Oh, yeah.
I don't see no knee problem over here.
Oh no, he got the crush.
I don't see no knee problem over there. Granted, he's got crutches and everything, but
it's a beautiful video, by the way.
I mean, if you want to classify Jameis Winston, that's the epitome. It's the epitome of Jameis Winston right there. He ate the W as the team did as well. But overall, for the game standpoint, this was a huge statement win for the Saints. I mean, you look at their main prized possession. Jameis Winston, or as sometimes Connie would like to say, what is it? Weymouth
Jimston. It's
Weymouth Jimston. He was not Weymouth Jimston today. And you look at for the Saints side of things, the Saints have a pretty respectable record of 5-2. I mean, you look at a lot of people didn't really see the Saints as a playoff contender before the season even started, and you look at they're 5-2.
That part of the show, and I'm never talking about the Cowboys again. So you're gonna have to listen to the pod, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, you are. And you look at the Saints; they're 5-2. They look very well in position to be a playoff team. Now, quarterback situation. I think if you're Sean Payton, it depends on what you want. If Taysom's fully ready to go, and you still want to have him as the guinea pig guy on the offense, you obviously are going to roll with Trevor Siemian as your starter. Just because you could utilize Taysom Hill more in the offense. But if you really believe Taysom Hill could be the next guy after Jameis Winston, then you have to put him in. And we'll just wait. We'll have to wait and see. And for the Buccaneers, for the Bucks, this was just simply a game to where I don't know what it is. There are 3 guarantees in life when it's Tom Brady. Eli Manning's his dad, Nick Foles is his uncle, and the New Orleans Saints in the regular season is his boogeyman. Those are 3 guarantees. Now, I don't say postseason because we all know what happens when the Saints are in the playoffs. They wet the bed. So you can't say the Saints own Brady in the playoffs because that did not happen last year. But I will say for the Bucks, you're 6-2. There's nothing to worry about. You're pretty much going to run the NFC South. There really isn't anything to worry about. For the Saints, it's one of those, you had a great win, but I will say, like you mentioned, Connie, Sean Payton, are you really playing with the devil? Why would you pass 3 consecutive times and give Tom Brady the GOAT a minute 42 and 2 timeouts? Did he not learn from Matt LaFleur last year on giving Brady time with the ball? Did he not learn what happens when you give Tom Brady the ball? It was really the Saints honestly got lucky in that game. And whether it's some sort of voodoo that they play in the regular season or anything like that, they just got lucky with that play. And for the Saints, I'll say it again, it was a great win by the Saints. I think if we look at the playoff standings as of today, the New Orleans Saints would hold.
I believe they're the 5th seed.
They would be the 6th seed. They would be the 6th seed if the playoffs started today. And I mean, you look at the Saints, and one thing I will say about the Saints is, it all depends on how they play on their schedule. You look at their next couple of games, you got the Falcons next week, then you got the Titans, you got the Eagles, you got the Bills, and then Cowboys, Jets, Bucks one more time, Dolphins, Panthers, Falcons. This looks like a team to where that's a doable schedule, a team that could very well make the playoffs. But the only problem is, how's the quarterback going to look? I mean, you look at whenever we discuss the Seahawks, why are the Seahawks 3-5? Because Russell Wilson is not in. For the New Orleans Saints, you're 5-2. How are you going to be without Jameis Winston? Because one thing is for certain, this team can definitely fall flat on its face. If Trevor Siemian is dog water like he was in Denver, and if Taysom Hill just isn't it, then they're going to pretty much falter. They're going to go 5-2 and be like 6-6. They could very well do that. So from this point forward, the New Orleans Saints have to be predicated on – they will definitely have to be predicated on Sean Payton's coaching abilities. How well Sean Payton coaches from this point forward will determine how well or how terrible the Saints will do. Because if Sean Payton coaches the Saints well, the Saints are going to be inked in the playoffs. They're going to be a playoff team, whether that's as a 6th seed or as a 7th seed. They're going to be in the playoffs. And most likely a team like the Seahawks probably won't. And you just look at it from that standpoint, from the Saints side of things. And then lastly, on the Bucs side of things, it's whatever. That's how I felt when they played the Rams. When they lost against the Rams, I just thought, it's just whatever. Wait until the GOAT plays them in the postseason. Then, it's a different story. So, it'll be one of those to where if you're the Bucs, you're 6-2, you're still in first in the NFC South. There really isn't anything to worry about. Like Connie mentioned, you got some players coming off the IR. As long as you get healthy, as long as your team, for the most part, is in good hands, the Bucs are going to be just fine. And unlike last year, they're going to actually have a home playoff game.
CJ, you're muted, guy. You're killing me.
Gotta give credit to the Saints defense. Just went out and played great football. Great football. You gotta say they're the kryptonite of Brady, and even in the postseason.
What you mean? The Bucs beat up on the Saints in the postseason. You can't say he's their kryptonite in the playoffs.
Well, it was 30-20.
And, please! The Bucs dominated that game. They got 4 takeaways. They sent Breeze to the retirement home.
Right, but the Saints defense did a good job on Brady, though. They did a good job on Brady.
They scored 30 points.
But one was a pick six. They had a pick six. So Yeah, I mean their defense is great. It's one of the best defenses in the league. Got to give them credit. Before we probably don't respect it as much because we're so used to the Saints being this high-powered offense for so many years with Breeze, when his prime. But they got some guys over there that make plays. And Mario Davis is a thumper at middle linebacker. Cam Jordan is great. Davenport, Malcolm Jenkins still playing great football even at his age. Championship guy with the Eagles, came back to New Orleans, still making big plays for them at the safety position. So he's there. Dennis Allen. I mean, if he's not getting any head coaching calls at the end of the season, it might be some problems because he's doing a great job over there in New Orleans. Got to give him credit. The Bucks. The main reason why the Bucks lost this game was 1 turnovers. And Brady had 3 turnovers, 2 or 3. I believe he had 3.
Yeah, 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Right? And then also penalties. I think they had over 100 yards in penalties. That was something that the Bucks struggled with last year throughout the season. And that's just beating yourself when you're moving backwards or when you're forcing the team to move forward. When you're on the defensive side of football, it just kills drives or extends drives for the opposing team, and you just can't do that. And I'm pretty sure Bruce went into those guys yesterday during the film and things like that when they watched the game back. But you can't have penalties, especially on the road. You cannot have crucial penalties on the road. So, yeah, they're going to be fine, because they still have a talented team. But, Saints, like you said, the key thing for the Saints is that quarterback position. How consistent can Trevor Siemian be throughout the rest of the season? Tough that Jameis went down, man. Showed the video. Yeah, he has good energy. His energy is unmatched. And they're probably going to miss that. They'll probably be around in the locker room and things like that. But in terms of having that guy on the field in the huddle, it's just a little different. So we'll see how what Simeon does. Taysom Hill to me is not a really traditional quarterback.
The Braves just took a 5-0 lead, and I hate the Astros. I had to celebrate.
Hey, you're good, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, what'd you think of that Jorge Soler 3-run bomb that he hit in the bottom of the third?
Can confirm the space station does not know if it's landed yet.
Right. But that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to Simeon and Taysom Hill. I give it maybe 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. If it's not going well, if they're going like a 2-game skid or a 3-game skid, they might try to look at a guy like Cam, or maybe make a trade for a guy, a Dalton type or something like that could just help them get above water and not make mistakes, and that defense just carry them to the postseason. But we'll see, man. I mean, bringing in Mark Ingram in that trade from Houston was a big time pickup. He's obviously not the guy that he used to be, but just having that guy in the locker room just brings so much energy to that team. Him and Kamara have a great chemistry, so I think that was a big pickup. Hopefully, Michael Thomas comes back here soon in the next couple of weeks. So I mean, it's tough. It was sad that Jameis got hurt because I really think he was having a solid year, and if he was able to lead this team to the playoffs, it would change the narrative on his career. But that's just how it goes sometimes, and we'll see where the Saints go. If they could keep this up I know the defense can keep it up, but can their offense match it, or at least keep it at a consistent level to where they could try to get in the dance?
Now let me tell you something, fellas. These first 3 games, pretty solid. These next 2 games, I have absolutely zero reason to speak about unless you guys want to.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Broncos.
Broncos,
yay!
Seahawks, come on. What are we doing?
Yay! Congratulations! You beat a team with no name. You're still a fraud, like Bernie Madoff.
Yeah, and then for the Jaguars and the Seahawks,
come on! I thought for sure Connie was gonna laugh at the Bernie Madoff joke. I thought.
I'm sending out a tweet right now. Your man's a busy guy. I got a tweet from the baseball account. I got to do the show. Got to watch. You're a busy guy.
Yeah, no worries. And then you look at for the Seahawks side of things. Congrats on Geno Smith. You beat the Jaguars. And then hey, you got. I will say
about that game. I really thought the Jags were going to pull out a victory, and I'm such an idiot.
And I will say, I just want to give props for Urban Meyer for staying 3 weeks sober on the news line on not doing any dumb shit.
You know what? Great point.
You got to give props to Urban Meyer. They're 1-6, but hey, there's no storylines around them. But for Jacksonville, they have still not won a game in America since September 10th of 2019. They need to get a win in America. They got to win in London. They ended that 20-game losing streak. But the losing streak in America still lives on. They need to get a win on American soil.
You know
Did they play the Lions? Did they play the Lions soon? That'd probably be the.
You know, I will say the 0-8 Lions got to be the team that I think everybody feels bad for. Like I've never seen an 0-8. I've never seen an 0-8 Lions team. No, CJ, the Lions don't play the Jaguars. You want to hear what the 0-8 Lions got to deal with? Oh, they got a bye week. They can't lose that week.
You never know.
They then got to go up against the Steelers, the Browns, the Bears,
maybe
the Vikings,
the
Broncos,
maybe
Cardinals, Falcons. They then got to play the Seahawks on January 2nd.
Fat L.
And then they got to close it out week 18 at home against the Green Bay Packers.
Another L. Congratulations, Lions. You might be the first 0-17 team. You know who's not going 0-17, CJ? I'll tell you.
Jaguars.
No, we're over it. CJ, we're smoking on that lightning bolt pack this week, on that Charger pack this week. Let me tell you something. Pats pull out the 27-24 victory, baby, over the nice little Chargers. People thought I was crazy. Matt, do you remember the group chat earlier this year when I said the Patriots were going to be better than the Chargers? Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
There were a lot of people against me, weren't there?
Yeah, there definitely was, and I will say you've had your moments with the Pats. You almost abandoned their fandom if they lost to the Houston Texans. I mean, now you look at they got big wins against the Chargers, and I will say that kind of sounded like a Patriots home game in my book.
Listen. Whenever you play the Chargers,
did they travel? Did they travel on the road, or was that like a, or was that like a West Coast Gillette?
Oh, that was a nice West Coast Gillette. Pats Nation travels everywhere, but CJ, I don't want to take away the hype. I want you to be the hype man this week for the Patriots.
CJ's always the hype man, regardless of who they play. This was the same guy who said New England was going to beat Tampa. I mean, you're talking about pure loyalty. CJ's there. I mean, you haven't really had a lot of thick, a lot of thin, just thick throughout 20 years.
That's okay, man. We all struggle with words sometimes. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. You know what I meant.
I did. CJ,
I'm crying, bro.
CJ's always here to rein me in. I'm the over the top one. CJ's the mellow one. It's why we're a beautiful podcasting couple, by the way. CJ, you take it away here. How did we feel about this game?
It was a good win. Important win. This 2-game road trip, facing the Chargers, going up against the Panthers. Some people.
I could already tell. I'm sorry to interrupt. Generational Sports next Monday. It's gonna be. I might have to try and tune into that one.
100%, definitely.
I better see Connie with the fake cigar saying "smoking on that Panthers pack" if the Patriots beat the Panthers.
I might go out and buy a Panthers shirt just for the game.
I'm weak.
and then you'll pound it on the desk and then just say, "Yeah, this is what keep pounding looks like."
You know what? Ooh. We're gonna pause slightly.
Yeah, slight pause.
But once again, I know what you mean. But CJ, like I said, take it away, my friend.
Yo, bro, you treading on crazy water right now with your language, man.
What, me?
Gotta chill. Nah, you're good.
Because I was gonna say, I was just saying the slogan. That's the Panthers. That's not me. That's the Panthers.
Nah, I know, bro. I'm just messing with you. Again, yeah, good win. Good win by the Patriots. Should have been 27-17, and Jalen Mills gets mossed on the left side.
Is Jalen Mills burnt toast?
Worst corner in football. Yeah.
he's a slot guy. So when he's on the outside, it's not
from the words of CJ. Is he dirt?
Absolutely.
As an outside corner, 100%. 100%.
How do we fix the dirt? How do we fertilize it and plant it to help make him better?
Just keep him in the slot every single possession, every single game. Don't have him on the outside. If he's on the outside, it's going to be tough. And I thought he played more outside. They brought in Miles Bryant, had made some big time plays for the Patriots on Sunday. Belichick called a masterclass, in my opinion. Definitely made it tough for Herbert to see his reads. They were pressuring him in certain moments in the middle, on the edges, turn the ball over out of whack. I was a little scared because they have so many they have so much offensive firepower with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Jared Cook when he's locked in, and losing Jonathan Jones with the shoulder injury for the season. The secondary for the Patriots are already depleted, so I was definitely a little bit nervous. But Adrian Phillips came out there and had a great game against his former team. 2 interceptions, 1 to the crib. He had a great game defensively, but it was phenomenal by Belichick and those guys for the Patriots. Offensively, first half, I don't really know why they were passing so much. McDaniels was trying to pass way too much. Wish they ran the ball a little bit more in the first half. Matt kind of got faltered a little bit in the pocket, and he was making some error throws. He was throwing some really inconsistent passes throughout the first drive. Throughout the first half. Second half, they kind of settled in, started to run the football, work the play action, and ultimately helped them. Man, this Patriot team is going to be complementary football. It's not going to be one team. One side of the ball being better than the other. They just have to not turn the ball over, and if they're not going to turn the ball over, you're going to have a good shot because you got the best coach in the league, and you're always going to have a shot. Just can't turn the ball over. No turnovers, and you're going to be in it. You look at a lot of those losses that the Patriots have with those 4 losses. Almost all of those games had turnovers, key turnovers at certain moments. So,
especially a guy Damian Harris. I'm shocked I haven't seen any reports of Damian Harris getting beat up after that sell job in week 1.
Yeah, it definitely looks even worse now because that's the only win on the Dolphins' schedule, and they've lost 7 in a row since. So it definitely hurts. But he definitely has responded since then. He's playing really good football. Had 86 yards rushing and a touchdown on Sunday. Ramondre Stevenson needs to get more playing time. I think him and Stevenson could be a really good duo. Something I expected before the season started. Mac played solid. Like I said, he played. In my opinion, he probably had his worst half of his career on Sunday in the first half, and then the second half he slowed things down. I think McDaniels definitely called a better game in the second half. So, and then for the Chargers, they're coming off the bye. You thought they would, come with more life. They would play with a little bit more life. I thought this could have went 2 ways. I thought this could have been a really ugly game, especially after last year, what the Patriots did to them. I thought this team would come out and play with more firepower, but they just came out real slow and lethargic, and ultimately that plays into the Patriots' hands, and that's why they lost. So we'll see what happens with Los Angeles going forward, if they're able to respond, or if this could be a start of a trend, because we saw the Baltimore game where they struggled, and then now we see the game against New England. So maybe these defenses are starting to figure out that Joe Lombardi's offense over there in Los Angeles.
Man, CJ, I'm disappointed you didn't say same old Chargers. What more do you expect out of the Chargers? This is literally the formula that they have. They build you up, and then they come crashing down. I call it the Dean Spanos curse. They got embarrassed. They got embarrassed by the Ravens, and you look at it. This was a statement win from the New England Patriots, and this just proves to show why Bill Belichick is still supreme on the great head coaches of all time. He came in there with a rookie quarterback in Mike Jones, who, by the way, best Alabama quarterback in the league, no questions about it. He's better than Tua, turned the ball over, and he's way better than Jalen always runs the ball, Hurts.
Yo, that last name for Tua, bro, is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he turns the ball over. Tua, who needs Tagovailoa when you could just say turn the ball over? Because it's true. That's why they're 1-7, and also the whole team is just dog water. Like the Dolphins have sunken really bad. Anyways, back to this game. You look at for the Chargers, it's like Connie would say, it's a tough life out there. You got no home fans. You're 4-3, and the Rams are just like it's just like saying like the Rams are the hot sister and you're the ugly one. That's the Chargers. The Chargers are the ugly one. No matter what the Chargers have, they always just find a way to lose. And you look at for the Chargers, I mean, it's just one, like you look at Staley, he has his good moments, but then he has some bad moments. Now, the thing that's different about the Chargers than in years past, they normally have like a tougher schedule. This schedule doesn't seem too bad. You got the Eagles next week, which could be easily winnable. You got the Vikings the week after, could be winnable. But you look at that Steelers game, that could very well be a toss-up game because the Steelers, for being quite honest, I've kind of picked it up a little bit. And it's a so-called home game against the Steelers. And you know, at SoFi Stadium, you're going to see terrible towels pretty much waving everywhere. You got the Broncos. You should beat the Broncos. But then again, you never know. It's the Chargers. You then got the Giants. If you're the Chargers, you better beat the Giants. If you lose to the Giants, I mean, if you're Dean Spanos, you got to sell the team on site. Like you can't recover from that. And just overall as a whole for the Chargers, it's an embarrassing loss. You got your ass kicked against the Ravens by 28 points. You then had a bye week to physically prepare for Bill Belichick and Mac Jones of the Patriots. And you were horrible. And I don't know what it is with Jared Cook and AJ Green, but the controllers seem to have disconnected during the worst moments. It always seems like Jared Cook always does this. When he was with the Saints, it happened to him one time. Jared, what are you doing on the Patriots pick six? That's the reason why the Pats got a pick six in the first place, because Jared Cook went like this, look one way, ball's the other. It's pick six for the Patriots. That's literally the difference in this game. If Jared Cook's controller doesn't disconnect, the Chargers maybe win the game, maybe. But you look at it from the other side of things. If you're the Patriots, like I said before, and I'll say it again, this was a great win by the Patriots. They have the best Alabama quarterback in the league. And you look at their schedule for the Pats, it looks very favorable. If they don't turn the ball over, it looks very favorable. You got the Carolina Panthers, and you best believe. I'm sorry, Josh. If you're listening to this is going to be a fat W. Remember the last time what happened when Bill Belichick played Sam Darnold? I'm seeing ghosts. Ghosts will run wild on November 7th at Bank of America Field. Come November 7th, and then you got to verse the sorry ass Browns. Same old Browns. I would say
that's a tricky game.
It's at home at Foxborough in November 14th. You know the weather gets a little chilly up in Foxborough
against the run, though. I'm telling you.
I mean, hey, you never know. You never know. This is Bill Belichick. He could find a way to shut down Baker Mayfield with his eyes closed. And then you got the Atlanta Falcons. Come on now, you should beat the Falcons. And I mean, if you're being honest here, the Falcons fans would always have PTSD whenever they play the Patriots, because 28-3. And then you got the Titans. You never know how the Titans can look without King Henry, which we will discuss. Then you got to deal with the Bills. I don't know, against the Bills. The Bills.
Just gotta split it, man.
Got to split against the Bills.
Split against the Bills, man.
You got Connie's MVP Winston-Annapolis Week 15 at Indy. I mean, that could be a toss-up. You better not lose these last two games. You got the Jags and the Dolphins. You better not lose those last two games. Connie, what will you do if you lose to the Jags or the Dolphins?
Listen.
Will the fandom be sold, or would it?
See, I don't.
That's a long time from now, man.
Yeah, a long time from now. We got to see what happens. But
that would be sad if we lost to the Jags.
Listen, Jags, that would be a tough one. But at least like I could like somewhat rationalize it in my head, saying that if we lost
Jags.
I will say the Dolphins game is in Miami. Week 18, it is in Miami.
Patriots never win in Miami.
I mean, you did. I was gonna say you did like 2 years ago, like 43-0.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah, that was when we had the GOAT. We got a Lego
Hey, you got the best Alabama quarterback in the league on there. You got a chance. You got Mac 10. Mac
is about Mac 10 though.
Yeah, Mac 10 season is in full effect now. I don't know why CJ doesn't like Mac Daddy because they're 4-4. I don't know why. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious, but hey, you never know.
Can't call another man that, bro.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll just keep it at Mac 10 season, but just overall. Great win by the Patriots. Let's see if they could keep the pace going, and we'll just see what happens. And then for the Chargers, let's just hope they don't melt down again, because history has told us same old Chargers will falter. Hopefully it's different. You moved on from Anthony Lynn because you would always lose the close games. Yet during the season, the Chargers this was a game to where regardless of whether you had Lynn or Staley, you would have still lost the game. But hey, at least you didn't get beat 45-0 like last year. At least you put up 24 points. True. I mean, hey, progress, right? If you're the Chargers, progress. At least you scored 24 points instead of getting shut out.
That's an excellent point. Listen, I'll be quick on this. Pats, fat W. Mac, 18-35, not very good. But hey, Herbert was as well. And did you know, a little fun fact, 2 lowest QBR games, I believe, for Justin Herbert against the Patriots. I think this was the second lowest. Last year was his lowest ever. Just saying. I haven't had the most faith sometimes during this year for the Pats, but I should have known. Bill against the first or second year quarterback, easy dub.
Did you pick the Patriots in Generational Sports? Okay, good.
I did.
Every game, man. Yeah.
You feel me? But okay. CJ, why don't you take us through the rest of the schedule there, guy?
All right, we got the Panthers and the Falcons.
Oh, we're skipping the Bills?
Well, Bill's just beat up on Tua, turned the ball over. I mean, he had an interception, so he lives by the name.
Listen, all I'm saying is Josh Allen.
All I gotta say is Tua turned the ball over is the Hawaiian famous Jameis, cooking up some turnovers.
Hawaiian famous, I'm crying. Yeah, I missed it. I was looking right to the next game, but it's not.
It's all good. We don't need to talk about it. Just Josh Allen putting slight ownership in the Dolphins, and you could just basically put in the South Park episode where they just stab all the Dolphins on the field, and that's what they look like. You look at it's a tough life to be a Dolphin, man. You're 1-7. You don't got your first round pick. The Eagles have it. You're just rock bottom. You're just sinking. It's stinky down in Miami.
Yeah, it's tough, man. And obviously they didn't get that. They didn't get the trade for Watson.
You knew that was going to work, though. You knew with all the cases surrounding Mr. Deshaun Watson that he wasn't going to get traded. So I don't know if you're the Dolphins why you would rely on that. And then you also got to look at if you're the Dolphins, man. You say like, oh, we trade up all these draft picks. Well, it doesn't help when you have a sorry-ass GM that has no idea how to draft. You draft Tua, turn the ball over Justin Herbert, and what has happened? The worst outcome, the worst case scenario, to where Herbert is flourishing with the Chargers and Tua is struggling on the Dolphins because he can't stay healthy, which was a draft problem, and the Dolphins just stink. They just flat out stink. Like I predicted the Dolphins before the season even started. I said they were going to go 7-10. I think it might be worse than 7-10. And I just want to say I was right. I was right on the Dolphins. I knew the Dolphins was going to be dirt. I didn't know they would be this level kind of dirt.
Yeah, you're right. It looks bad. I mean, throughout this game, it was close in the beginning. It was like 3-3 up until the third quarter.
Oh, terrible game.
Yeah, then the Bills just pulled away. Man. They're just a better team. Josh Allen trucked a 300-pound defensive lineman.
That's when you know it's bad when your 300-pound lineman gets ran over by a quarterback.
Yeah.
You gotta retire. You gotta pull Avonte Davis and retire after that play. You just gotta get off the field. It's like, Coach, I'm done. We're 1-6. I just got trucked by a quarterback. I'm out. Just get me out of Miami.
Yeah. It's definitely time.
I'll be in Miami in the off seasons because Miami's got some good stuff in the off season. But during the football season, there is nothing. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Brian Flores. But you got to move on from the GM. Somebody's got to get fired from the Dolphins after this year. Somebody has to get fired.
That's fair. Man.
I hope it's not Flores because you look at first year, he built the team up to 6 wins. Last year they win 10 games. Third year's off to a slow start. Somebody in the front office has to go. Whether that's assistant GM, whether that's GM. Somebody has to go because you got the draft pick overhaul with the Texans and you've pretty much took a dump on it because every single pick you've had has been dog water. Tua turned the ball over. Why do I call him Tua turned the ball over? Because he stinks. He's terrible. He's injured. And then you look at your lineman pick hasn't really been good. Will Fuller, where the hell has Will Fuller been? He's been a no-show. Like Will Fuller is putting up the same.
I'm pretty sure he's hurt. That's why, like every other year.
Yeah, exactly. He's either hurt or loaded up on PEDs. Either one of those. Will Fuller is putting up the same. Will Fuller is putting up the same stats as I am, and I'm sitting on a chair. Like it's bad. If you're a Dolphins fan, I feel slightly bad for you. The reason why I don't feel fully bad is because you live in Miami, and there's some good things in Miami.
Go out to South Beach. You don't even got to watch the game.
Yeah,
come on, son. Yeah, some of those clubs, you'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll be all right. Maybe watch a Heat game.
All right, 7-1.
Yeah, they look good. 7. They look good, man. But let's transition to the Panthers and the Falcons, NFC South showdown. Another ugly game. Both teams. Panthers are 4-4, but outside of that, before they got this W, they lost 4 in a row. Falcons, they look good. They look good in moments, and in other moments they look like this. So, any thoughts on this game? Not too much to really break down.
Man, all I gotta say is, Sam Darnold, why you gotta do us like this? I had so much promise, so much praise for you before the season started.
Could never be me.
And this is pathetic. Like you were seeing ghosts last week, and then you get hurt this week. You're 4-4, and then you got to verse Mac-10 next week. You look at the Panthers. One of these teams had to win. Somebody had to win. This was not they could have tied, which I would have. I know Josh would have been furious if there was a tie in this.
Would have made it even better.
That would have made it better. And then you look if you're the Falcons. What a rough life for Matt Ryan. You put up 13 points, then you got your hand stomped on the cleat. That's a tough life out there.
This man looks like he was pouring ketchup out his hand, bro.
Yeah,
he looked like Mahomes with a steak.
No, you want to know what's funny, Connie? After that play, he threw a pick. After he got his foot stomped on, blood coming out of his hand, and what happens? He throws an interception.
Looked like a Patrick Mahomes steak out there.
Steak. But yeah, overall, you just look at it. Falcons are the Falcons. They always find a way to choke it away. And then you look at the Panthers. It's not like that. It's not like that.
CJ, I think we're going to start a sus meter on the.
No, it's not. It's not.
I got you.
And then for the Panthers, you look at it. Yay! Congratulations, you ended a 4-game skid against the Falcons. What do you want? A cookie for that? Great job. Win against a real opponent. If you can beat the Patriots next week, then maybe I'll consider you a thought. But other than that, get out of my sight.
All right, Connie, any thoughts? No.
No, listen, I was never a Sam guy. Still not a Sam guy, and I'm looking
I
more
will.
and more correct by the
I
week.
will say I feel bad. I feel bad for my boy Christian out there. He's trying to rep the USC.
Yeah, you know,
He's got no case for Sam Darnold.
Listen, all I'm
there's
saying
nothing.
is, if anybody can locate Christian, I put him on the milk carton because he's missing. Because I tweeted at him and asked him how about Sam Darnold. Man didn't even answer me. So if anybody knows where Christian is, please let me know. I'm getting worried.
Oh man, it's tough for both teams. Going to the 49ers and the Bears.
Yeah,
this game was close for a little bit. Justin Fields made a great play, probably one of the top plays of the week. A scrambling on 4th and 1 led to a touchdown, and then after that, just the defense just wasn't able to get any stops. Garoppolo got 2 rushing touchdowns. What was your guys' thoughts on this game? I'll start with Connie and go with Matt.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this just confuses things for the 49ers even more. I think before this, especially last week, when Trey Lance was going to come back healthy, I think that they were just going to automatically go to him, and it doesn't look like that now. Like, what do you do? Jimmy played a really good game. I think he had over like 300 yards passing, had a rushing touchdown as well. So he's been playing. He played very well. And like, what do you do now? that's kind of their problem at the moment. And then just for the Bears, they're not good. Like it's pretty obvious. You're not a good team. Fields, I still don't know if Fields has ever thrown for 200 yards in his entire career yet. Made that play just to take an L. I guess it's still pretty solid though, because you want to see what Fields can do outside the pocket. Obviously, that gives them an asset that they didn't really have before with Nick Foles and Andy Dalton and they had it a little bit with Mitch, but definitely not to the Fields level. He's definitely a better athlete than him. But yeah, nothing crazy I'm taking out of this. But I will say, Deebo Samuel, bro, to the moon. That man is on one this year. He's an animal. They did like a screen pass in like 3rd and 11. Oh, I got it to like the 2-yard line. I was like, okay, Deebo, I see you out here.
He's a beast, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, we all know why the Bears defense ran away from Deebo, because they're afraid to snatch his chain away.
I was gonna bring that up and I didn't do it. And now I regret it.
Yeah, you look at once again, Thanos. This brings a smile to my face just to see how bad the Bears are. Mr. Rogers, part-time owner of this team, and you look at it from the Bears, it's just bad. It's terrible. They were all Bears fans were calling upon Justin Fields. Where are they at now? Where's all the Justin Fields chitter chatter? Because it seems very, very quiet. And if we're being honest here, Justin Fields looked better as a running back than a QB passer. 19 and 27, 175. Come on, you can do better than that. 10 attempts, 103 yards. That's a solid running back stat line right there. Maybe you should put in Justin Fields as a running back, Andy Dalton as your QB. Maybe you might win more than 3 games. Maybe. But overall, you look at from the 49ers, I want to agree with you, Connie. This kind of puts a confusion for the 49ers. You look at you're 3-4. You're nowhere near the NFC West. You're not going to be over the Rams. You're not going to be over the Cardinals. Both are 7-1. You're pretty much dead in the water. You're 3 games back. There's really no hope. You could honestly, in a way, just give up. But you can't give up. Why? Because you know that draft day trade where they traded down. Oh yeah, the Niners decided to give up their 1st-round pick this year, and right now it's looking to be a 10th pick. So if you're the 49ers, you can't really tank this year because the Dolphins have your pick. And so in all honesty, to help out my dynasty team, just play Jimmy G. Just let it ride. Let porn star Jimmy ride and see how far it takes you. Just pass the ball to Deebo Samuel. When George McGriddle Kittle comes back, maybe he'll get some action in, and we'll see what happens. Elijah Mitchell ran it well, 18 carries, 137 yards and a touchdown. And, if you're the 49ers, congratulations, you beat the Bears. Almost anybody can beat the Bears. I say almost because, the Jaguars and the Lions, I don't think they could beat the Bears, but it's one of those. Congratulations, Niners. You're 3-4 and you're 3 games back of the NFC West. Congratulations. All the Niners are really playing for at this point is honestly just pride. And you hate to say that halfway through the season because you think like you'd have a chance, but the NFC West is so loaded with the Rams and the Cardinals both being at 7-1. You really don't have a chance in the division. So you might as well just play the future game and just be like, oh, you know what? Let's not give the Dolphins a top 10 pick. Let's give them maybe a pick at, maybe 15 or 16. We'll just give them that. We'll give them the 15th to 16th pick instead of a top 10 pick.
All right. Yeah. Not really too much to say. Again, you got to go with Garoppolo. I mean, it's not like Lance was great when he was in there. So it's just what the 49ers have to do right now until Lance is able to be that guy. So, and then for Fields, it's just really just an experience here, man. Just get out there, experience the game. Hopefully next season, they put some better pieces around him, and he can either improve or not. So we'll see what happens with Fields going forward. Eagles and the Lions. I mean,
man.
I don't. They had this game on Fox, and I was just waiting for them to put a new game on. It was like 38 zip at one point.
It was 38-0.
Yeah, it was really bad. Hurts really didn't even have that. He really didn't need to do too much. I mean, the Lions just did everything for them. Goff. I mean, what can you say, man?
Dude is dirt.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not good, and. He's not good, bro. He's not good. He's not good at the quarterback position, man. And some games they compete, and then other games they play like this. So, anybody got any comments on this? It's not really too much to talk about, man.
Man,
Listen,
all I gotta
watch
say,
this game for fun, go to prison.
Yeah, all I gotta say is T's and P's to the Lions, man. You could honestly just put a X on them for eliminated from the playoffs because there ain't no way they're making the playoffs this year. I know they're not mathematically eliminated, but you can pretty much book them for
no, they're eliminated.
Eliminated. And I mean, you look at if you're the Eagles, yay, congratulations, you beat the 0-7 Detroit Lions. Once again, do you want a cookie? You're supposed to win this game, and you're supposed to win like that 44-6. Come on, Eagles. Like, your guy Jalen Hurts went 9 of 14, 103 yards. He looked like Jimmy Garoppolo in the NFC Championship game. Just only 9 attempts, 103 yards. Because the Lions are just awful. And you hate to see it because you like the energy that Dan Campbell brings. And one thing I will say is to the Ford family, pay Calvin Johnson, or else whatever curse, whatever stigma you have is going to stay there forever. Just simply give Calvin Johnson his $1 million that he wants, or that is left on his contract, and maybe you'll win 2 games. Maybe. I mean, it was bad. I predicted the Lions to win only 2 games this year, and I might be on the money. It's sad. It's to a point where if you're the Lions, you just feel sorry for them. Like obviously with the Jaguars, you just laugh at the Jags just because like what do you expect from a first-year college coach in Urban Meyer, and then he pulls the shenanigans against Cincinnati to where he puts a finger up or places you don't want to be because it could smell bad later. But it's one of those to where if you're the Lions, you just feel sorry for them, and I guess if you're the Lions on the next week. But I mean, come on, what more does Dan Campbell have to do? I mean, the man cried in the podium 2 weeks ago, and the team since then has just gotten obliterated.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks. I mean, Dan Campbell has poured his heart and soul out. He's told Jared Goff to up his play, and you suck, and there's nothing there.
That's what he signed up for. That's what he signed up for, man.
Yeah, and all I gotta say is that Ben Hoyt, if you're listening, I don't want to hear a word about this Eagles-Lions game. I don't want to hear any high hopes. You're 3-5. You're supposed to beat the Detroit Lions. And I will say, congrats on Darius Slay for getting a pick 6 against his former team, or a fumble recovery, whatever it was. congrats on scoring a touchdown. You're still with the sorry-ass Eagles as well. So you got no improvement.
Oh, man. Yeah, again, just Detroit fans.
Just Detroit sports in general
Maybe
are
next
just
year.
sad.
Yeah, maybe next year, guys. Maybe.
Maybe next year they'll win 3 games instead of 1.
It's tough out here.
For real.
Dude, just
All right,
simply pay Calvin Johnson and just apologize to Matthew Stafford and Barry Sanders for wasting their careers. It's that simple. Or just simply, if you're the Ford family, just sell the team. Give it to Jeff Bezos. Just give it to somebody else. Just get the Ford.
Let go of that bag.
Just get the Ford stigma out of Detroit ASAP.
No Rocky?
No what?
ASAP, no Rocky?
Yeah, just ASAP. Get him out. Not even Rocky can save the Detroit Lions. Not even Rocky can save them. And it's bad when the one thing to look forward to in Michigan is a college team in Michigan State. Granted, there ain't no, but it's like, come on, you want to have better success as a professional team than to look in East Lansing and be like, yay, the Spartans are 8-0 and we just beat the sorry-ass Wolverines. That's just not what you want.
It's not what you want at all. All right, we got the Steelers and the Browns. AFC North matchup. What's your guys' thoughts on this game? I'll start with Connie first again.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, 15-10. Definitely wasn't pretty on the offensive side.
Boswell got killed. His soul is still in Cleveland.
Yeah, he did get rocked when they tried to do that field goal pass.
That looked like what CJ did to Damian Harris after week 1.
I'm weak.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's your thoughts?
On.
What's your thoughts on Baker? Odell ultimately didn't get traded. Everybody
the man had 1 catch for 6 yards.
Yeah, so Connie, what's your thoughts on the game? And then we'll go to Matt. Close it out.
Yeah, I mean, an ugly divisional game that you can kind of expect. This is the Steelers defense that we have kind of come to know and love, unless you're playing them over the past few years. And I don't know exactly what is wrong with the Browns, but I think a lot of it still has to do with Baker. And I think Baker is fine as a quarterback. I really do. There's talks about getting rid of him and do they want to sign him to an extension? Like, all right, first of all, Cleveland, calm down. You found one quarterback in literally your entire franchise's history that is not terrible. Do you guys not remember?
It took them almost 29 attempts.
Yeah, that 10-year stretch where they had about 30 different starting quarterbacks. So let's calm down. Just give Baker his money. The cap goes up every year, so I'm sure that after a few years, it's not even going to be a big deal anyway. Now, does Baker deserve, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, all these? No, he should never, ever, ever should get that money because Baker's a better version of Goff. And I know we just said how Goff is terrible, but
hey, at least Goff made it to the Super Bowl.
That's not a good. That's
okay.
not a good cosign. No, I'm just saying that's not a good cosign. If he wants to get that bread.
Hear me out. Ready? I think Baker is good, but he definitely needs some solid pieces around him. And we saw when Goff had those solid pieces around him, he had the healthy Todd Gurley and the first year of Sean McVay and all that. But Baker needs some pieces around him. He's a little limited, I think, but I think he's good enough to win you some games on his own as well. I just don't think he can, carry a team. So they can't give him all that money because then they can't have the 2 running backs.
The only thing that Baker Mayfield is carrying is his shoulder after he attempts to make a tackle.
Well, exactly.
That's the only thing the man's carrying, and then also, if we're being honest, the only bread he's getting made is the only little pieces they feed to ducks. That's the only bread he's getting. He should not ask for a high value money because he is not worth that high value money. Because also he's not a running back like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. This is
Josh Allen, the running back, is an animal.
Yeah, but, he trucks a 300-pound lineman.
Exactly, this is a true statement. But But yeah, Baker, I mean, he definitely needs the pieces around him. And if you give him a lot of money, you're obviously not going to be able to build a very solid defense. You're not going to be able to have, probably the best offensive line in the NFL. You're not going to be able to have 2 running backs. You're not going to be able to pay wide receivers and tight ends. And listen, the Browns have a very good team. They should be better than this. And I put some of it on Baker, but I also don't know how much to put on him because he's playing through this injury. And I mean, there's no way that it can be comfortable at all. Let me tell you that. I believe it's a labrum in his non-throwing shoulder, but it doesn't matter. Every time he's getting tackled, he's probably got tears in his eyes. So
yeah, bro.
It definitely cannot be a good time getting slammed down by 350-pound linemen every day. And they should be better, but listen, they lost to the Steelers. Very
Same
good defense.
Browns.
I don't know. I think if Baker's healthy, they would definitely be doing better. But I don't know. Steelers, I'm still not sold on them. They still only scored 15. They literally cannot move the ball at all. They're not a very good offense. Big Ben, do yourself a favor and don't even think about coming back after this year. Because at this point, getting kind of tough to watch. It's like Peyton in his last year. Tough to watch. You don't really want to watch it, but it's almost like a car accident. You do anyway.
He's getting carried.
Oh yeah,
right
no,
now,
no, he's absolutely getting carried. And you want to talk about somebody doing the carrying? TJ Watt, that's a grown man too. TJ, I don't know what the hell the Watts fed their children, but to have JJ and TJ in the same family,
Don't forget about Derek Watt.
Well, listen,
Derek's
Derek's like
genetics.
the Miley Cyrus's sister. You didn't even know she existed, honestly. But shout out Derek, making nice.
I didn't even know.
or like the or like one of the Gronk brothers. You didn't even know that Gronk really had brothers like that. Besides when they're on TV. So whatever. But Steelers got the win, 4-3, 4-4. Ravens seem like they're going to win this division.
Don't sleep on the Bengals.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Bengals for a second. But listen, I still don't think the Browns are a team you really want to face in a playoff situation because you got the running game going and from week to week. You can beat anybody because then the other team isn't on the field. So maybe throughout the year Baker heals up a little bit. I don't know how easy that'll be considering he's still playing with this labrum injury. And then my main thing about this, I just don't understand why they didn't trade Odell. Like apparently. An anonymous GM came out. Of course, they're always anonymous. That nobody really wants to deal with the contract and blah, blah, blah. And I guess I can understand that, but Baker's a better quarterback when Odell is not on the field. It doesn't really make sense because Odell's supposed to still be good. Now,
that's so crazy.
It is. But CJ, this is something we should be familiar with because we live in New York. And they talk about this a lot too. When Jeremy Shockey played for the Giants, Eli was terrible. He was scared out of his boots when Jeremy Shockey was on the field because he wanted the ball and Eli felt like he had to throw it to him. And I think it's the exact same thing with Odell. Baker's scared when he's on the field. He feels like he has to force it to Odell. And now you got Odell's dad coming out. You got LeBron coming out saying free Odell and all this. And let me give you a hint. That's not helping the problem, by the way. So I think they should have traded him. There were definitely teams that needed him. Would have liked Bill to give them a nice little phone call. It's not like you use your first round picks on good wide receivers anyway. I don't think
19 mil for 8 games. I don't know. Doesn't sound like Bill.
Is he a free agent after this year?
What happened?
No, he's got one more year left.
Yeah, he has 1 year left.
Hey, CJ, so we got 8 games in the season.
Hey, and the Pats are 4-4.
Just be 8 games. No, Bill. It's just be 8 games.
Yeah, but
4-4.
4-4. You got a chance to make a playoff push.
Here's my thing, CJ. Is Bill gonna draft anybody that has the same skill set as Odell in the first round?
No.
He's gonna attempt to, but will it actually work out?
But the things we're saying
He'll take a guy like Jacoby Myers.
But the things we're saying right now about Odell in Cleveland is going to be the same thing in New England, unless he buys in. Unless he buys in, because he's not going to. We know Belichick. You saw Brady for years. Like outside of Edelman, their system is giving the ball to other guys. It's not just honing in on one guy. Outside of that, a couple years of Randy, because Randy's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer. So if he was willing to buy in, then yeah, but you just don't know that. I mean, he hasn't really come out and said anything. He hasn't really made that much noise. I know his pops and then LeBron out of all people comes out and says free OBJ and you're a Browns fan, quote unquote. So that was a little weird when I saw that, but and then he doesn't get traded, which makes it even worse, which makes it even more of a story now, and adds more fuel to the fire. But I just see him in New England, just probably just knowing Bill. It probably wouldn't have made sense. It wouldn't have made sense.
Listen, to me, even if you don't want to go to New England, I think they had to trade him, and they didn't. And I don't think there was a lot of people that, like you said it with the anonymous GM, the money situation. Yeah, it's probably a big factor. It'd be different if he was playing well, or if he had like the last few games he played at a level where his value would increase. But like you said, dropped some key passes in certain moments. Landry had fumbled in this game, dropped a big time pass. Odell dropped a big time pass. So it was just an ugly game by Cleveland, and they're just gonna have to figure it out. They're just gonna have to figure. They're 4-4. It's not the end of the road. It's still a 500 team. They're just gonna have to, hopefully Hunt could get back healthy. Chubb came back, but hopefully he could, get closer to 100% towards the end of the season. They're gonna need those guys. Those are their key players in that offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, you look at the Steelers. It was an ugly win, but it's a win nonetheless. That's 3 consecutive wins for the Steelers. You're now back into the division race. Because you look at the Bengals, which we'll discuss later, clearly look like the Bungles. Ravens had a bye week. They're still 5-2. And then you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The AFC North is wide open. You look at, if you're the Browns, yes, you played like you played trash. You were terrible. And then I don't know if Jarvis Landry went trick or treating and got Butterfingers or something, because whenever he had the ball, it was slipping. It slipped. No matter what happened. That was a game where if you're the Browns, this loss, I will say the only downside for the Browns to lose this game is it's going to hurt them in the postseason big time. This is going to hurt in the playoff seeding standings. You're 4-4. You're just hovering above 500. If we're being honest here, I don't know why people said that the Browns were going to win the division. This is still the Browns. They had one good year for the first time in 18 years, and we expect them to follow that up again. Like, how do we not know the history of the Browns? Like, we know this is the same old Browns. Now, could they obviously turn it around during the second half of the season? Absolutely. If Kareem Hunt comes back healthy and the rest of the players come back healthy, if Baker Mayfield's shoulder and stuff gets better, the Browns could possibly play better. But, we look at it, the Browns are 4-4, and that was just a bad loss, a loss that you cannot take. And, you also look at it, you guys also probably should have known the Steelers were going to win this game because Big Ben has partial ownership of the Browns. I think there's a stat line to where in 25 starts, he's like 26 starts, he's like either 27 starts, he's like 22, 4-1 against the Cleveland Browns. So for anybody who thought the Browns were going to beat the Steelers, unless if it's in the postseason, they were full of themselves. They were blind because that shouldn't have happened. Now I was wrong. I did pick the Browns to beat the Steelers because I thought in Cleveland. But then again, I didn't expect Odell to only have 1 catch, and I didn't expect Jarvis Landry to go trick or treating and eat some Butterfingers. But that's the NFL for you. Any given Sunday, the Steelers, they got the big win. They have a lot of momentum going forward. That's 3 straight wins. And let's see if old man Roethlisberger on pretty much his last leg. He's coasting on E right now. It's not like he has anything left in the tank. He's coasting on E. And Najee Harris, 26 attempts, 91 yards. Congrats. You didn't crack 100, but at least you got some rushing going. You got a rushing touchdown. Gave me some fantasy points. Thank you for that. And, if you're the Steelers, on to next week. On
to the next game. We got the Rams and the Texans. again, similar to this Eagle-Lion game, not too much to talk about. Rams continuing to just continue to be dominant. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What's your thoughts on the Von Miller trade? Von Miller to the Rams. I'll start with Matt and then go with Connie. Do you think he has a lot left in the tank to make a big impact for Los Angeles and could have put them over the hump in the NFC?
I truly believe it could. I mean, you look at it for the Rams. What happened last time when they went all in and got some Bronco players? When they got to keep Talib, what happened? They went on to go to Super Bowl 53. Now they had a former Bronco and Von Miller. Let's see if they could follow that same success. Now, personally, for the Rams, you look at the rich got richer. And one thing is for certain, if you're the Los Angeles Rams, this is literally all in this year. Your first-round pick, Matthew Stafford. Second and third-round pick, Matthew Stafford. Fourth-round pick, you just basically traded away to Brandon Cooks to rot in Houston. You have your fifth-round pick. You traded your sixth-round pick to get postseason hero Sony Michel. And you have your seventh-round pick. The Rams, you need to make it to the NFC Championship game, bare minimum, NFC Championship game. Because I'm telling you right now, if the Rams fail and wet the bed in the playoffs, it's gonna one, take a hit on Sean McVay's legacy, and for Matthew Stafford, it's gonna take a full-fledged hit on Stafford, because you look at Stafford, he's got everything he wants. He's got his weapons. He has the defense. There are mathematically zero excuses for the Los Angeles Rams this year. Now, I understand there's a stigma of when your team hosts a Super Bowl, you never make it there. Tampa broke that stigma last year when they made it all the way to Super Bowl 55 and won it. Now it's wide open. Anybody has a chance to win it. Even though the Rams host Super Bowl 56 at SoFi Stadium, they're 7-1, and boy, they are playing really well. Now, I do want to see for the Rams how differently they'll utilize Von Miller, Vic Fangio. I mean, I don't even know why the hell he's the head coach. He's a better defensive coordinator than a head coach in my book. But, I mean, the way how he utilized Von Miller on defense, it was very suspect, very questionable. I saw Von Miller in coverage. I don't know why he was in coverage. He's supposed to be rushing the quarterback. And for the Rams, I expect them to utilize Von Miller more in the rush pass. And, I mean, you got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and Von Miller on the same defensive team. Good luck. Good luck, Packers. Good luck, Tampa Bay. And maybe good luck, Cardinals. But other than that, that's about it. Those are pretty much the cream of the crop in the NFC. It's pretty much 3 to 4 teams. I mean, unless if you want to consider the Dallas Cowboys as the cream of the crop, but I'm more along the lines of wait until the season ends.
You have to. If you're gonna say the Cardinals, you got to the Cowboys in there too.
All right, I'll throw in them boys. I'll throw in them boys. But I mean, you look at, I'll say it before and I'll say it again for the Rams. I wouldn't say Super Bowl or bust because the NFC is very loaded. You can't discount the Green Bay Packers because they're playing this well with their practice squad. You can't discount the GOAT Tom Brady. You can't discount. You can't even discount the Arizona Cardinals because who's your only loss of the season? The Arizona Cardinals, and they beat you by 17. So It's one of those to where you even, I hate to say it, you can't even discount the Dallas Cowboys because the Cowboys defense has been looking really good as of late. And Dak Prescott, when he's healthy, he looks pretty solid. So when you look at it for the Rams, it's wide open, but you have to at least make it to the NFC Championship game because if you fail to make it to the NFC Championship game, then why the hell would you trade all of your picks in Goff if it's just going to be the same result as last year? The reason why you traded for Stafford is to get over the hump. One, make it to the NFC Championship game, and two, to make it to the Super Bowl and have a chance to win it. That's why you trade for Stafford. If you knew you weren't going to win the Super Bowl, you wouldn't have made all those trades. You would have just kept Goff and just ran it back the same way. Just keep on keeping on, wheel in the circle, win a playoff game, and then ultimately get slapped around by Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. That's what the Rams would have done if they kept the same team. But they felt they had a chance to win it all, and they're playing like it. And we'll see what happens. that's personally how I feel what Von Miller will do for the Rams. I think he's going to help bolster this defense. And for the Rams, you got to go farther. You got to go further than the division round of the playoffs. Other than that, it's unacceptable. If you get embarrassed, I don't want to hear anything about Matthew Stafford. I don't want to hear how he suffered in Detroit. I don't want to hear anything. Because if he fails, I'm going to call him Pat Stafford. I'm going to call him Pat Stafford if he fails in the playoffs this year.
All right.
That would be tough. Yeah, I think it's going to help them out definitely a little bit. I think if this is, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I'm a lot more excited about the trade than I am now. But it definitely adds something to him. Von Miller still has a little bit left in the tank for sure. And I kind of look at this as a J.J. Watt situation as well. People kind of gave up on J.J. over there on the Texans, but you got to remember, he was, basically their only pass rusher. Connie wasn't there anymore, so it was just J.J. And that's kind of what it is with Aaron Donald right now. I know they have Leonard Floyd over there as well, but it's obviously, Aaron Donald and everybody else. And you can't double team two guys. I mean, You could, but it's not going to go over very well. So, you'll have Aaron Donald in one-on-ones maybe, or you'll have Von Miller on one-on-ones, and I still have faith that Von Miller can win those one-on-one battles, obviously, and we all know Aaron Donald can win 2-on-1s, so it doesn't even matter if he's one-on-one. We all know what's going to happen in that situation. So it definitely does a little something for them. Like I said, if this was a few years ago, I think it's a bigger deal, but it definitely they're going for it, to say the least. I don't know where they even found draft picks to trade, because I thought that the Rams had already traded all their draft picks until 2050, but I guess they I guess they found some. And I kind of, in a way, I like what they're doing. Like, do I want to have a draft pick in hope that he turns into a player? Or can I just take that draft pick and go trade for somebody that I know is good, like a Matt Stafford? Or do I want to go and trade for somebody like, Von Miller, who I already know has a history in the league and everything like that, instead of, taking that draft pick and hoping that the other team is that player is going to end up being good. So Rams are definitely going for it. I think Von Miller still has, just a wee bit left in the tank, and being lined up on the same defense with Aaron Donald is definitely going to help him out. And then obviously, as we all know, they got a lockdown corner over there in Jalen Ramsey as well. So it definitely adds to the defense, and I look forward to see what the Rams are going to do.
Yeah, you guys made pretty much all the points. It's gonna, like you said, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to double Aaron Donald, because again, they're doubling him, and he's a tackle. So now you have a guy like Von Miller on the outside. You gotta try to chip him, bring a running back in there, and that kind of changes the entire offense. And then that's how great those guys are. It could be dangerous. It could be dangerous, but I also agree with Matt again. They need to win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. NFC Conference Championship game this year is inevitable. It has to be. It's like you guys said, no excuses. If you can't get to the NFC Conference Championship game with this team, with all this talent, it's going to say a lot. It's going to say a lot about McVay, and it is going to say a lot about Stafford as well, because that's the one thing that we've said about his career. He hasn't had the team around him. He's in the greatest situation his entire career. And if he's not able to answer the call, it's definitely going to hurt his legacy a little bit. So yeah, these next 2 years is key. Definitely key for the Rams. They need to get to the bowl, and win a bowl. Win a bowl. They need to win one. So people could say it was worth it. AFC South matchup. Yep. AFC South matchup. Titans and the Colts. It's a close game throughout. Winning the OT.
Winston-Annapolis, baby.
Yeah,
gifting turnovers and making random ass 30-yard completion plays.
Yeah, Wentz made a terrible play in his own end zone.
But hey, at least he didn't take the safety. He just gave the other team a touchdown instead.
Yeah, just trying to exactly. Just trying to do too much. Trying to do too much there. And then the game was close. The game was close throughout, like I said. And then going into overtime, it was back and forth a little bit, and then Wentz turned the ball over. Everybody's looking at the film now, and they said Jonathan Taylor was wide open on the check down. Could have easily gotten the field goal range and iced the game, but Wentz tried to do too much again, part two in that game. and it led to an interception. It led to an interception. And I just think for Wentz, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on Wentz. Obviously, we know Connie's a big fan. I just think he tries to be hero. He tries to play too much hero ball when he doesn't have to. Again, you have an outstanding back in Jonathan Taylor, one of the best backs in the league. I mean, right now with Henry being out, you could put him in that category if you want, right, throughout this season. And he just give it to your playmakers. He's obviously the best playmaker they had. Michael Pittman's been playing some solid football these last few weeks as well. Jack Doyle's solid tight end. So you don't have to run around and do. It's not Philadelphia. It's a completely different situation. And this was a big loss for them because, one, it's a divisional matchup. And if they were able to get this one, it would have helped their chances in potentially winning the division. But now I believe they're 2-0 against the Titans now. But the Titans, even though they get the win, they get a loss and losing Derrick Henry for the entire season. Tough. Last 2 weeks we were talking about the on pace. You know what I'm talking about? With Henry and everything. I think we kind of cursed it a little bit. Yeah, I feel like we did, man. And definitely big time loss for the Titans. Loss for Henry. Prayers up. They went out and got Adrian Peterson. Obviously not 36
all
years
day?
old. Yeah, all day. Not what he used to be. 36 years old. It's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to Tannehill. Is he gonna be that guy? Is he that guy, man? I heard my guy Connie talking about that on Gen Z yesterday. Is he gonna be the guy for them?
They got a time machine.
Yeah, he's gonna have to show out. Tannehill's gonna have to step up, play some high level quarterback football right now. If he's not able to do that, it's just gonna be a one and done in the playoffs. Or hopefully, it could spiral out of control. We'll see what happens. What's your guys' thoughts? I'll start with Connie and go to Matt.
Listen, Wentz, you're killing me here. I can't keep defending you, bro.
Yeah.
That's top 5 bad. Like that interception is.
You
right
put that
there
on.
with,
Come on, man.
That's right there with the butt fumble. It's there with the Dan Orlovsky clip of him running out of bounds. Getting the safety in the end zone. Like that play is right up there.
That one was bad, bro.
That play.
He threw it with the left hand. It wasn't even his dominant hand. He switched hands and just went, F it. Somebody's down there.
But like you said, CJ, he's playing too much hero ball, and I think it's still ingrained in the back of his head from his Philly days. Obviously, just his first season away from them, but he's with the man who saved his career, and of course, as I just said that, his name escapes me.
Frank Reich.
Frank
Reich. There we go. So he's with Frank Reich, and I thought it would turn it around, and you know what? It almost did. It almost has, because if you take away, let's just, pretend here. If you take away the Wentz games against the Titans, man is on an MVP pace. So I'm about halfway right. I'm just saying, just about halfway.
I'll give you 40%.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, he's like in that lower tier candidate, MVP candidate. Before last week. Before last week, yeah.
Take away the Titan games, both of them.
Yeah, both.
And I'm good. He's right in the MVP conversation. I'd look brilliant right now. But yeah, he's just playing a little bit too much hero ball, and he doesn't have to. He has a good old line now. But here's my biggest thing with it, right? Like I know this in Madden. In Madden, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Madden.
They did a screen pass. A screen. Now, we've watched a lot of football. When you do a screen pass, that means you have nobody blocking for you. Nobody. Right. Zero. Zilch.
It's got to be quick.
So when you avoid the first tackle, which congratulations. First of all, you should have had already thrown the ball in the dirt, but you didn't. You avoided the first tackle. Congratulations. Proud of you, Wentz.
Just throw it away.
But once you see 2 more guys, the 6'5", 340-pound lineman in your face, that might be the part where you throw the ball away. No. You just decide to try to make the play of a lifetime and
switch hands
and go, last year Mahomes, not this year Mahomes, leading the league.
Go Bobby Boucher on them when he just tosses the ball to the defender. Here you go.
he's doing something, and none of it was good. I'll say that.
That's back-to-back weeks he did that. He did that same thing against San Francisco. He's falling down, and he's just like, whoop, as an interception. And then
listen, San Francisco, I'm giving them a break. It was raining. You know what? I'm giving them a break. But this one, not good. And then, like you said, CJ, the overtime one, that's just another situation of trying to fit the ball into a place. You can't throw it there. You can't throw the ball there. I don't know what he was expecting to happen there. It was funny, man. If only you guys were here. Because, my boy put a little something on Wentz's over on yards. He was about 20 yards away. My boy was like, he's going to throw an interception right here and screw me over. Literally the next play through an interception. It was hard times over here in the household.
But a flag out there.
But yeah, Wentz is all right. Just take him. Just don't let him play against the Titans. Put Jacoby Brissett in or wherever.
Jacob Eason.
Yeah, Jacob Eason. Put him in during the Titan games and let Wentz play the rest of the games, and they might win the damn Super Bowl if you let that happen. But yeah, this hurts, but nothing hurts more than Derrick Henry going down.
Yeah, man.
And listen, you said it. They signed Adrian Peterson, and Josh yesterday over there on Gen Z, like you said, was he's gonna come back and be this and be that. Oof, I don't know about all that. But
who's the other guy they have?
I honestly couldn't even tell you.
Losing track of his name. I mean,
I think
it's the perfect fit though. It's the perfect fit though for all.
It is. You're right. It is a great fit, but he's just not 27.
Right.
So it's going to be a lot tougher for him, to do what he has to do. And now we all kind of wonder, did Tannehill really turn his career around, or was he just handing the ball off to Derrick Henry all the time and making himself look better? We're going to find out now, because I don't think you can run the ball, 85 times a game now that you don't have Derrick Henry. So we're going to find out where the Titans go from here. I still think that they put enough of a cushion between them and the Colts that they're going to end up winning this division. But I don't know how good they're going to be now. Derrick Henry was Derrick Henry in the Titans term is almost like losing your quarterback.
100%.
Like that is almost as big as losing your starting quarterback.
Yep.
So we're going to find out, what the Titans are made of. And I'm interested to see what happens going forward. But yeah, between Wentz, doing whatever the hell that was, and me and CJ putting the curse down on Derrick Henry, this was just a bad game.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at it, you hate to see the injury from Derrick Henry, but when you run Derrick Henry 30-plus times a game for 8 weeks, just after he ran over for 2,000 yards the previous season, that wear and tear really wears you down. And I mean, you just hate to see it from King Henry. One, I just want to say, let's give a moment of silence for fantasy owners of Derrick Henry.
Oh man,
this is a true statement.
I need a couple moments of silence because my team is obliterated with injuries right now.
One of my friends has James Robinson, Derrick Henry, and David Montgomery.
Dude, that's tough.
Sheesh.
But and then you look at for the Indianapolis Colts, that's a bad loss. You can't that loss right there might have just sent them to the gulag in the playoffs wise, because you look at it, you're 3-5, and now the Colts, you better not lose any of these next 2 games. You got the Jets and the Jaguars. If you lose one of these games, I'm sorry, Wentz, you got to get benched. You
snapped.
You have to get benched.
Flaming hot take.
You on Thursday night, if Mike freaking White
I'm not gonna
comes
lie.
If Mike White comes into Lucas Oil Stadium in 2 days and outplays Carson Wentz, I'm sorry, Wentz. You gotta bench Carson Wentz. Just for the game against the Jaguars.
Yeah, bro. If he
well, what you mean? Mike White just put up 400 on the Bengals. We're not disrespecting Mike White out here now.
But I'm just saying, it's the Jets. It's the Jets, Connie. It's not Mike White.
They just beat the Bengals. We were all just
Well, no. The
we were
Jets
all
didn't.
over
The Jets
chanting
didn't beat
Bengals.
the Jets didn't beat the Bengals. Mike White beat the Bengals.
Okay, so Mike White. What happens if Mike White beats the
Same
Colts?
thing.
Well, if Mike White beats the Colts, then you got to give props to Mike White, and then
Okay,
just look, and then just look at
exactly
the,
my
and then
point.
just look at the
Check
Colts,
in
and just
Connie.
and then just look at the Colts and say, I'm sorry, you got to do an overnight relocation like you did from Baltimore to Indy. You got to hide after that, and then you just look at, and then also for the Colts.
Wow, what are the
I mean,
odds those two games were the exact same score? 34-31.
I mean, you just look at it, and I mean, Connie, oh yeah, it was 34-31. Whoops. Okay, but for the Colts, it's a bad loss on a season that's just been a disaster. Back-to-back weeks, you lost to the Seahawks and the Rams by about a score. You then get owned by the Titans. You then beat the Dolphins, which everybody beats the Dolphins, besides the Patriots. Sorry about that. And then you get obliterated by the Ravens, beat up on the Texans, beat up on the Niners. The Colts look like just an average 500 team. They're playing like an average 500 team. They're probably going to be a team that has 8 or 9 wins by season's end. And Carson Wentz, I hate to say it, Connie, but Wentz-Annapolis, I think, just has to be turned just to Wentz. He doesn't. No, not Wentz VP.
Just the death of me.
What you need to put that in a verse. Wentz VP till the death of me. You can put that on a mixtape.
I'll hire a ghostwriter.
Yeah. Okay. And then for the Titans, great win. You're 6-2, but you lose King Henry. Tannehill has his contract. This is why you paid Ryan Tannehill 4 years, $118 million. If you're Tannehill, what you gonna do? You know, are you going to falter and wet the bed, or are you going to be resilient? You know, we'll see what this Tennessee Titans team can do. Now, luckily, the Titans are in a terrible AFC South division that's clearly fumbling over themselves. You got 2 1-6 teams 1-7 with the Jaguars and the Texans. And then you got the measly Colts who you already season swept. So your division is pretty much on lock. You just can't wet the bed. So get the job done for the Titans, and please try not to be a one-and-done exit kind of team, because you look like a one-and-done kind of team anyways. Like, you look like a one-and-done team with or without Henry. If Derrick Henry gets fully healthy before postseason time, who knows? You know, we'll see what happens with Tennessee. But overall, great win by Tennessee. Terrible loss by Wentz-Annapolis.
Yes, sir. And then now we got the game that you guys just been talking about a little bit before we got to it. Bengals and the Jets, the Mike White game.
Jets, and then Jets.
Yeah, man, they came out.
You say so.
Facts. They came out and played great. I think they scored in their last 5 possessions. I don't know what happened. Yeah. I don't know what happened to the Bengals. I think it was 31-20.
Mm-hmm.
With like maybe like
Burrow had the bad interception near the end where Shaq lost and picked it off, and they were in the red zone.
Yeah, he made a great play. Yeah, that's when I knew that was the turning point. That's when I knew, like, yeah, man, we could see an upset. We could see an upset, man. And what's your guys' thoughts on this game? I'll start with Connie.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something here. I don't want to, all I'm saying is, if Mike White goes out and beats the Colts Thursday night, has another performance, not just beats them, but has a solid performance, what do you do if you're the Jets? What do you do if you're the Jets? You just drafted a quarterback 2nd overall. Yeah, what are you gonna, say no thank you?
It's just 2 games. It would be
I don't know, man.
It would be just 2 games because like it's not a big enough sample size to really.
All right, but here's my thing, CJ. He put up 400 yards. Say against the Colts, puts up 350, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You're telling me the Jets just automatically go back to Zach Wilson?
I don't know about automatically.
I don't think you can.
No, you can't. You have to have some QB I will say, if Mike White has another good game on Thursday, there has to be some QB competition. Now, you could compete and then just say, all right, we're going to give it to Zach Wilson. But at least you had some competition. Like, Zach Wilson is kind of in his boots, like shiver me timbers. Like we got a generic Mike White. We got generic Mike White name out here throwing 400 against the Bengals and then 350 against the Colts.
It is such a generic name. It's so crazy.
Nah, that's like a cartoon character name. Like legitimately, that's something you see on Cartoon Network.
But I'm saying, like, if he has a great game on Thursday against Indianapolis, all right, then yeah. But to me, I feel like this one was more of they got blasted by the Patriots last week, and this team, those guys over there, they got egos, man. They got pride. It wasn't just about to walk in there, get slapped again, on their own field. And they just played a little bit better. Everybody got critiqued last week because of 54-13. You had to come out and play better. So we'll see. We'll see if it was that or, White's the truth, bro. We'll see, man.
Mike White.
We'll see if White's the truth, man. But again, it was again, big win by the Jets. And the Bengals, a lot of people had them as the best team in the AFC. Real quick, before we get to Matt's game, I know he's going to go on a little crazy rant, so we're going to give him a little bit of time before we wrap it up. Who's the best team in the AFC right now, and who's your best team in the NFC right now? Well, I know what Matt's gonna say, but we'll obviously. I'll go with Connie first. I'll go with Connie first.
I'm gonna go Bills, and until somebody knocks the Bucks off the mantle, I'll stick with them. They're getting healthy now.
All right. Connie, what about you? Matt, what about you? My fault.
For the AFC, it's the same as Connie. I'm going with the Bills. I originally was going to go with Tennessee, but once Derrick Henry had that foot injury, I think it's the Bills to lose. The Bills, they're going to pretty much run the AFC. The Chiefs are. I want to put them at dirt level, but they're kind of hovering at dog water. They're kind of hovering at dog water a little bit when they're 4-4. In the NFC, as much as I would love to say the Green Bay Packers, I need to see how they play Week 12 against the Los Angeles Rams. Until I see that Week 12 game against the Rams, that's when I think I could make my decision. Now, the Bucs are going to be the Bucs. They're going to do their thing. But I honestly think the best in the AFC is between three teams. It's the Buccaneers, it's the Rams, or the Packers. Either one of those three teams are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I'm still not sold on the Arizona Cardinals. They're 7-1, but the Rams are right there. And if the Cardinals have to travel on the road in a wild card game, I'm sorry. I just don't think it's going to work. I think if the Cardinals have to travel to Tampa, I don't think it's going to work. If the Cardinals even have to travel to Dallas on the road, I'm just not sure because of the road game. But whoever has the road, whoever wins the division in the NFC West has a good chance to make it to Super Bowl because they have that home game. Whether it's the Rams or the Cardinals, whoever wins that division is going to have a very good chance of winning the NFC. Now, to determine a team, I'm going to go with Connie. I'm still going to say Tampa Bay just because they're the reigning champs. They're still 6-2. And until proven otherwise, until I see Brady lose in the NFC playoffs, it's his to rule. It's him. It's Buffalo and Tampa right now.
All right.
But I will say for the Packers side of things, if the Packers want to be considered a top team in the NFC, they have to beat the Rams Week 12 at Lambeau Field because they got the big win against Arizona, which I love. They've beaten the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a respectable team. Now, this is the stretch for the Packers to where you beat the Cardinals. Congratulations. Now you got the Chiefs. You got the Seahawks, Vikings, Rams, bye week. If you could have a good record in that stretch, then you could be one of those top teams in the NFC. But I just need to see how you play against the Rams Because if this Packers team could beat the Rams with how they are, with all their injuries, sheesh, they're going to be looking scarier than Michael Myers on Halloween night.
All right. So both of you guys say Buffalo, Tampa. I would have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to agree. Both of those teams right now, until they're stopped. But again, I guess I do like Dallas. Dallas is good. Green Bay looks good as well. These next couple of weeks will really be telling. All right, last game, Thursday night football game, where AJ Green, like Matt said, the controller got disconnected, and that on that last play. We'll go with Matt. We'll go with Matt first, and then we'll go with Connie, and then we'll go rapid fire for the Week 9 predictions.
All righty, what a win by the Green Bay Packers. I mean, you talk about a defensive kind of performance. Keep in mind, no Devontae Adams,
right?
No Allen Lazard, no Valdez-Scantling, no Josh Myers, no David Bakhtiari, no Zadarius Smith.
Let's go to
no
the Jair, team, bro.
No Jair Alexander. No Kevin King. This team could have easily folded against the Arizona Cardinals, but they did not. They persevered. We didn't even have our defensive coordinator, Joe Barry. And we still found a way to get 3 turnovers against the Arizona Cardinals. And what wins you games? Turnover differential. Packers didn't even turn the ball over, but the Cardinals had 3 turnovers. And that was the difference in that game. And you look at it, I will say the only thing I did not like about the Green Bay Packers was their goal line play call with Matt LaFleur. I don't know what it is with Matt LaFleur. It seems like ever since he's been a head coach, I don't know what it is. He always seems to be a problem at the goal line. I just think he tries to be too finesse. Just give the ball to Aaron Jones and just let him pound it in on the touchdown, please.
Yeah, as a fantasy owner, please.
I don't need to see. I don't need to see any flea runner side. I don't need to see it. Either pass it to Devontae Adams or give it to.
I didn't realize I beat you this week.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Huh. Yo, and the crazy, I forgot to look at my lineup, bro. Stressed. You feel me? And I had
out Curtis Samuel.
My roster, even the guys that were on my bench were just
his whole team is like the Dolphins.
Bro, your entire team is zeros on the bench. Literally the entire team.
It was a bad week, man.
It was bad. But just overall, it was a great win by the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers became a meme after he threw a touchdown to Randall Cobb. You know, just the face. I mean, it was hilarious. I've never seen a meme like that before. And just overall, and you also look at it from the Arizona Cardinals, that's a slip. The Green Bay Packers tried to gift the Cardinals that game. Like, you mean to tell me 99-yard drive and you almost let the Cardinals score? That's unacceptable. That can't happen. If you're a defense, the final 3 minutes of the game, that can't happen. That can't happen against the Rams. That can't happen against Tampa Bay. That can't happen against the Dallas Cowboys. You cannot, as a Packers defense, allow a 99-yard drive like that to have happen in the game. That's unacceptable. And if it weren't for AJ Green disconnecting the controller, you would have either had a tie game going to overtime or the Cardinals would have been 8-0. But, you know, this Packers team, it feels different. You know, I don't know what it is. You know, in years past when I'm at LaFleur, there's some games that you see to be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're probably going to lose that game. Like when we played the 49ers in the championship game, yeah, I knew we were going to lose that game. You know, Kyle Shanahan basically owned us. And then you look at that Week 6 game against Tampa last year, I kind of knew we were going to lose that game. You know, you kind of expected going in, all right, we're probably going to lose this game. This game against the Cardinals, man, I was just like, at least make it close. At least make this game close. If we could find a way to only keep it within 3, I'm okay with that. But find a way to get the W, and shout out my man Rasul Douglas. That man was on the Cardinals practice squad on October 6th, and 3 weeks later, he's on the Green Bay Packers making the game-winning interception. And lastly, I just want to say, shout out to AJ Green. You know, I just want to say, you know, thank you for turning your head left instead of right. You know, zig when you should have zagged. You know, very well appreciative. And, you know, for the Packers, hopefully this is a momentum boost. You know, hopefully this is a win to where, you know what, We won 7 straight. We got that big win against the Arizona Cardinals. Now let's keep this momentum going. Like I mentioned beforehand, you got the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. You got the Seahawks at home without Mr. Russell Wilson. You got the Vikings on the road, and then the Rams at home, and then your bye week. If Green Bay could go 3-1 down the stretch, maybe even continue the winning streak, their prowess in the NFC could be very high. So we'll see how that happens, And for the Cardinals, it's just a tough loss. That's a loss if you're the Cardinals you can't have, because that's going to affect home field. That loss the Cardinals had is going to affect their home field advantage. Because you look at the Cardinals, yes, you beat the Rams, but you lost the Packers. If you're tied with the Packers are going to get the higher seed. Why? Because AJ Green didn't turn his head around. And now Kyler Murray is going to have to get on a ladder and beat him to a pulp.
On a ladder, that's foul.
All right. Connie?
Yeah, I mean, definitely an impressive win. I didn't think the Packers were going to be able to pull it out, especially after I heard about the Devontae Adams, COVID situation, and then Lazard went out as well, I believe.
And then no defensive coordinator either.
Everybody.
They'll be all right without the DC.
I don't know. Joe Barry's been solid as of late.
Mid confirmed.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame it. He had been mid. Like before the game against Washington, Green Bay's defense had 15 red zone opportunities, and each time it was a touchdown. So I wouldn't blame you. It was mid to dog water level, maybe dirt.
Exactly. But the Packers end up getting this one. I thought the Cardinals were going to be 8-0 for sure. Definitely something to look out for with Kyler Murray too is that he's definitely not healthy right now. I think he's got a little bit of an ankle situation going on. So you got to look at that, obviously, because without Kyler Murray, the Cardinals obviously don't really go anywhere. That's a starting quarterback you can't afford to lose. But, yeah, it's an impressive win from the Packers, like Matt said so eloquently. Everybody was out. So you didn't really expect too much from the Packers in this game. They end up winning 24-21 against a team that we obviously all have to believe in at this point. They're 7-1. They beat the Rams earlier on in the year, so we were all hyping them up, and they took a nice little L on Thursday Night Football. A lot of injuries in this game too.
Tanyan torn ACL. Tough.
Yeah, that's RIP Bob Tanyan, dude. I mean, he was starting to get his stride too. Like he got a touchdown on tight ends day. Come on, bro. Come on, son. You
set him up for that. Set him up for that one.
I guess, but like, man.
I mean, you guys pretty much hit on all the points, man. It went down to the wire. I thought Murray's gonna have a nice little late game drive, and then AJ just, I don't know if he didn't read the check.
He had to have. There's no way you hiccup that badly on that play, especially when you're a veteran like AJ Green. There's no way you're that much of a buffoon and say, "Oh, I'm gonna look left."
Where there's a will, there's a way, people.
Yeah, there is. I mean, hey, all I know is if that were slant boy, Mr. Michael Thomas, touchdown.
All right. You might not be wrong. Well, listen, we're already late into the night, people. We're going to just rapid fire our week 9 predictions here. Nothing crazy. You know why we're picking these teams? Because we feel like we don't need analysts. What are we, ESPN? One day. Just saying.
I'm good.
But all right.
I like freedom.
We'll just go down the line. We'll just go down the line. Jets at Colts. I'm going with Wentz-Annapolis.
Going with the Colts.
Wentz-Annapolis. I'll try to go Wentz MVP, but like it didn't have a
Wentz VP. Don't worry.
There you go. Wentz VP.
Falcons Saints. I'm going to stick with the Saints in this one. Falcons.
Yeah, I'm going with New Orleans as well.
Give me a Jameis Winston. Eat them up. W. Saints.
Cowboys Broncos. The Broncos are barely even a real team, so the Cowboys win.
Going with the Dallas as well, whether it's Cooper or Dak.
Yeah, give me Dallas. They're just better than Denver.
Next up, we got the boys.
Yeah, just clean sweet pats. Just clean sweet pats. I'm going
Panther pack later on this week. Vikings and the Ravens. I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going with Baltimore as well, coming off the bye. After getting slacked by the Bengals. Yeah, I got to go with Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens as well. I mean, Vikings are pretty much dead.
Browns at Bengals, a nice little divisional game here. I'm going to go with the Bengals though. They got to rebound from that Jet loss, right?
I'm gonna go with the Browns. I think they got to rebound from that Pittsburgh loss. Something's got to give. I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm gonna go with Cleveland.
Yeah, man, I'm going with the Browns as well. I think it's one of those. The Browns, like CJ mentioned, they have to bounce back, and I think Baker Mayfield will have a better performance than he did against the Steelers.
All right, next up, we're going to have a clean sweep of the Bills here. Don't even got to mention that one.
That's right.
Now, Texans and Dolphins.
The Dirt Bowl.
Nobody should watch this. Listen, if you watch this game, please go see a therapist. I'm begging.
Seek medical help right away.
Yeah. In the battle of the garbage, I think I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with turn the ball over to turn the ball over, and then the Dolphins, man.
Yeah, give me a fins down in the Dolphins. It's so bad. It's not fins up. It's fins down. It's terrible.
Raiders at the Giants, and the Giants shouldn't be allowed in the NFL anymore, so the Raiders win.
Yeah, I'm going with Vegas, playing good football.
Yeah, man, I'm going with all the shit that Vegas has gone through. I mean, they're gonna beat the Giants. I mean, it's crazy that they're 6-2. Well, I mean, hopefully they'll be 6-2. But yeah, just give me the Raiders. Giants are in the dirt because they're a dirt team.
Now we got the Chargers at the Eagles. I think the Chargers bounced back from the Pats. Give me the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers as well.
Yeah, man. I want to try to be different, but I'm a smart man. Give me the Chargers. There's no if the Chargers lose to the Eagles, then it's just the same old Chargers.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Packers and the Chiefs. I wonder where Matt's going to go on this one. No, I'm kidding, because I'm going with the Packers too. Because the Chiefs trash.
Man, I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay. I think it's gonna be a close game. Got the Packers.
Yeah, you know the vibes. I gotta go with the Packers here. Before the season, I thought this would be a game that Green Bay is going to lose, but with how horrendous that Chiefs defense is, anytime I see Daniel Sorensen in coverage, if I'm Rodgers, just boom, lob it up, boom, boom, easy money, easy touchdowns. It's going to be a straight W. It's going to be raining. It's going to be raining fire in Kansas City, and it's going to be the Cheeseheads whooping the Chiefs' ass. Would not be shocked if we beat them by at least 10 points, bare minimum.
Cardinals at the 49ers. I got the Cards, baby.
Yeah, I got well, what's the status on Kyler, man?
I think he's going to play. It's just, he's a little banged up.
All right. If that's the case, then yeah, I'm going with Arizona. Colt McCoy was in there.
A little tough.
Yeah.
I'm going Arizona with or without Kyler Murray.
Okay.
As much as I want to believe in porn star Jimmy, the Niners are just dead. They're awful. They're going nowhere. It's a lost season for the Niners already.
It might be a lost season for the Titans as well with no King Henry. So with that being said, Von Miller debut. Give me 2.5 sacks. Yeah, that's right. I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams as well. Just especially that Von Miller trade is too much firepower, man.
Yeah, definitely. Give me the Rams. I mean, if Derrick Henry was there, I would think differently. But, I just got to say, I will say, Connie, I hope for Generational Sports you did T's and P's for Tannehill, because with Von Miller, Aaron Donald up front, you got to pray that you got to pray that Tannehill comes back in one piece, because it's going to be bad. Like SoFi Stadium, it's going to be a madhouse. Give me the Rams over the Titans.
And then we rounded out Monday Night Football, the Bears at the Steelers. A disgusting game, but Justin Fields can't throw for 200 yards. So, I guess I'll go with the Steelers just because of that.
Will the Manning cast be on this game for Monday?
Oh, it will.
Oh, that's tough.
Which, by the way, not a fan of the Manning cast.
Yeah,
not too bad.
I haven't watched it too much, honestly.
I only watched it when Brady was on.
Yeah. I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Give me the Steelers. Steelers
All right.
are going to get the easy win over the Bears. I mean, Rodgers owns the Bears. I mean, it's the Bears are dead. It's just bear skin that's just laying out there at this point. It's bad.
Well, people, we've consumed your night. We appreciate everybody sticking around with us. With that, we'll end the show here. Of course, give our little shout outs. Matt, what do you have for everybody before we go?
Twitter handle is down below. I'm @_Scura. Check out my Instagram at Matt_Scura20. And both of those links in my bio. My sports podcast, me and our great friend Caleb do, called MCS Real Sports Podcast. We talk all things sports related. You name it, it's available everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, you name it, it's available everywhere. Also, check out Sunday Night Football Prime Time with Hoyt and Wise Cheese. Me and Ben normally stream the Sunday Night Football games, give our commentary. It's open guest for anybody. You know, if you just want to sit down, relax, and watch some Sunday Night Football, that's the way to go. As always, it has been a pleasure to be on the hard count, even though I've said some crazy things, whether that be sus or just off the rails. That's just what I do. You know, that's just me.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us today, Matt. You guys can find me Twitter handle right there, cjames9. On Instagram, cj.james9. Also at GardaPod on IG. New episode coming out this week, covering all things basketball. And, of course, you can find me here every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, sir. As for me, Mondays, 7 Eastern, Generational Sports. Me and Josh talk about everything. You know, football, baseball, sometimes, if Josh lets me. UFC, basketball. Make sure, by the way, to go download Underdog Fantasy. Use code GenZ, $10 on your first deposit. Get your boy some bread over here. You know, I got a nice little underdog slip in right now, so I'm gonna need Rudy Gobert and some others to turn up for the kid. But yeah, nice way to over unders. You can do rivals, you can do drafts. Fantastic app. Love it. Use code GenZ. Obviously, like CJ said, we do this every Tuesday, 9 Eastern, breaking down everything in the football world. Thursday, 10 Eastern, everything in the baseball world I break down on Backstop Banter with me and Michael. You can find me on Twitter, AnthonyConover_, and then Gen Z Sports for the pod, like I said. But with that being said, like I said before, we've taken up most of your night. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Matt, I appreciate you coming on the show as always. And CJ, you know what it is. I will see you next week. Peace out, everybody.